Welcome in on a Friday. It is a stunning day. High school football is back. The boxing club in Green Bay is back. The Brewers are back home in the friendly confines of American Family Field, opening up a weekend series, and they're taking on San Francisco starting tonight. So a lot going on. We've got IndyCar racing out at the Milwaukee Mile. So many things happening in the state of Wisconsin. It's fantastic. We're less than a week away from the Badgers opening up, a couple of weeks away from the Packers opening up. I mean, it's kind of giddiness right now as far as the sports, talk show host goes. This is Christmas right now. I love it. This is fantastic. And oh, by the way, exactly what we said would happen happened. Exactly. We said, look, not worried about the Brewers. Don't worry about it. Because after all the consternation, all the sphincter tightening, everybody's got a lump of coal in their butt. Next thing you know, comes out, bam, diamond, all tightened up. You never know. And the Cubbies are going crazy, and the fans are finger pointing, and here we go, we're back. And oh, by the way, you look at the standings, and you're still 7 games back. All of that, you gained a game, which is exactly what we said would happen. We said, look, they're coming in hot. Chances are the streak isn't going to keep going. Even if they win 2 out of if the Brewers win 2 out of 3, they only lose a game. And they're still, from the time I made my prediction, when they were 6 games up, they're now 7 games up and a couple of weeks less. I'll take that in a heartbeat. Brewers, way to go. Way to go. You just kind of looked at everybody and you went, hold my beer. It's okay. Go eat your free burgers, man. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to get you some free burgers. Okay, all good with that? Everybody grub down. You feel good? We'll come back out. Bryce Terang's knocking homers. What's he got, like 6 or 7 or something? 8, I think, for the month of August already? He's crushing. They come back home. They play even better at home. You get back on the right track. You got San Francisco coming to town. And then what is it? I think Arizona, comes in for 4 before you go back out on the road. And you do have a tough series in Toronto. Toronto's a hell of a team and playing extremely well over in the American League. And then after that, oh, by the way, you venture into September, the month of September, and then the stretch run is on. And then if you're still sitting there 6, 7, 8, 9 games up with 4 weeks to play, that's when that's when you're watching that big WWE barn burner, right? And you got the ref who is some guy that just drank 8 beers coming out of the stands, and he's there, he's pounding, and you're like, come on, my guy's going to kick out of it. And no, he didn't kick out of it. Cubs fans, nobody kicking out of it. Ain't happening. So I feel good about things. I'm sorry to rain on your parade and be kind of a general jackass today, but that's the way things go sometimes. You have to live like that, you know? Packers, in the meantime, they had a couple of Donnybrooks going on yesterday afternoon over at the Ray Nitschke Field, which was fantastic. I was loving life there. The fact that they're kind of bringing it all back together. One of those. Everybody I've talked to has said, yeah, that can be one of those bonding moments for a team. That's not a bad thing. Coaches, you don't want to see things like that happen on the field. You want to get your work in, okay? Coaches are like, oh, this is, we got to keep our composure. But sometimes behind closed doors, coaches are like, that was great, wasn't it? But you see him, he didn't even care that he had a hand to a helmet. That dude clocked him, right? So not a terrible thing. So we got a lot going on today. We got Bill Huber coming up, bottom of the hour from Sports Illustrated up in Green Bay. We'll talk with Bill. Love talking to Bill. Bill asks the questions. So I like that. So we got Bill coming up today. Mike Clemens coming up today. We're going to have Steve Zautke from the Traction Reaction podcast coming up today. He's going to talk to us live at the Milwaukee Mile, where IndyCar, the NTT Indy Series, is going to go roaring through over there. It looks like it's going to be a pretty nice weekend, too, which is really, really nice for all the fans. So all of that going on. So we got a lot happening. Hopefully you woke up today. You saw the incredible blue sky. I got up. I got a workout in today. I was feeling good about that. You know, I got up kind of slow after coming back from the cigar dinner last night. Got up kind of slow. Came back, got up this morning. Kristen went off to work, and I'm like, I need to do something. So I went downstairs, worked out, got a good workout, got the adrenaline going a little bit, went and got the truck washed after I don't know what I ran through last night. It was like flying deer, but it was all over the front of my car. I had to go get that cleaned up. So I went and got that done. Got a great big Arizona sweet tea at Quick Trip. Man, that's living life. And I'm sitting here with you today. This is fantastic. I don't care who you are. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Hit us up. We want to hear from you. Then you can text us 608-321-1670, 608-321-1670. You can also find us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. And to everybody that subscribed, we are now over 6,000 subscribers. We're creeping up on 6,100 like a bad pair of underwear right now. And it's fantastic. Thank you so much for watching the program. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitch, the Kick app, LinkedIn app, all under The Bill Michaels Show. You can email the program, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. The website simply thebillmichaels.com. The app is WOZN, the Zone Madison, the Wisco Sports Zone. It's an amalgamation of everything. I don't know what it is anymore, but it's everything. It means everything to everybody. So just download it, have it there next to you. Whether you're sitting on a couch and you're watching SportsCenter, or you're getting ready to make love to your woman, or make love to your man, or you're going into the bathroom and you got a lot of time because you're crowning, but you're not quite to the episiotomy yet. Whatever it happens to be, you go get it. And then you've got also after the fact on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts. We're a television show. You can find us on Saturdays, Saturday night, 8 o'clock Central Time, My24 TV. And don't forget over on Twitter as well, @Bill_Michaels, @Bill_Michaels. And then we bring him in yet again because Grant just doesn't want to work. That is Ebo. How you doing, man?
I don't want to work either, but I'm privileged to be with you, Bill. I was thinking about this when you're talking about the new app and all that stuff. There's nothing better than lighting some candles, having some wine, sitting down with your loved one. You're getting a little intimate, and you're like, well, I got to put on the Bill Michaels Show. Too.
Yeah.
It's the mood setter, dude. That's over the top right there.
I do. When I was doing rock radio, I started out in the evenings in Columbus, Ohio, and a buddy of mine had no idea that I had gone there. And I was not using my real name at the time, but, it was my voice, and he had gone there for a conference. His wife was a dental assistant, and they went there for some dental conference. And I did 7 to midnight, and they had just gotten back to the room, and they wanted to put on a little rock, and he cranked it up, and then there's November Rain, right? November Rain's playing, Guns N' Roses. He's like, yeah, here we go. And he said, just as they got to it, Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose, and it was my voice. And he's like, you talk, because she started tapping on the back going, that's Bill. And he said, dude, you completely C-blocked me right there in between Guns N' Roses, and I think it was Queensryche after that. But yeah, it was, I've done
Maybe you're calling the wrong name.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, Grant's on the bachelor party. This guy, he's got more vacation days than anyone.
Yeah, he's got a wedding, right? He's going to a wedding this weekend.
That or a bachelor, he starts talking and I just zone out sometimes. So it's one or the other. He told me last night when I was,
Grant starts talking and I just zone out. Is that the motto for his show? Is that the promo you guys run?
Yeah.
Grant Bills, when he starts talking, just zone out.
I see him more than my wife. I zone out my wife talking, but now I see him more than her, so I just tune out.
Hey, congratulations to Kate, by the way. She got their first volleyball win, I saw, right? Was that over on Instagram? I saw that.
I have to go look. Dude, she lives the house. She was... Yesterday, she couldn't find her laptop anywhere, so she's texting me during the show trying to find her laptop. She leaves she leaves her pants in here. There's a laptop thrown over here. I'm like, what kind of life are you leading here? What's going on?
You run an adult version of Kindertown.
It's insane, dude. Kate will sometimes, when she was doing your show last, good thing she was off camera. You might have had a lot more people on. She had her shoes off, her toes out, and she was up like this. Feet on the radio board, like bare feet on the radio board. I came in like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on here?
She's got an OnlyFans page for feet.
Let's get them feet finder.
That's like a fetish with some people, I guess. She got Rex Ryan tuning in. So.
Rex Ryan would love her. She's always got her little piggies out all everywhere in the studio. Like, I put my hands here. What's going on?
I put food there.
Yeah.
There's food there. So, and it's not like she's just walking around in high heels, sexy all the time. She's an athlete. So she's bringing in some stank every now and then.
The other day, her used leggings. She had some yoga pants just thrown over in the studio. I'm like, can you clean up? What's going on?
Oh, God.
Clean it.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
We love her though. We love her, though.
Yeah. So there you go. I don't even know where to go after that because that threw me off my.
Hey,
my
the
game.
fight. I love the passion for the Packers yesterday. The fight
was
2 fights.
Now I've seen more video of it as more fans posted it out. Did you know they actually tell the fans, hey, you're not supposed to, videotape and blah blah blah, and fans are like, I don't care. They're just
and good for them. They shouldn't. Just who cares?
So fans started taping. And so I started seeing it a little bit on Instagram, a little bit on Facebook. And then by the time I was driving back last night, my Facebook page was kind of blowing up saying, hey, did you see this? Hey, did you see this? And then Tucker Kraft throwing down and Belton throwing down. And it's like, boy, but I'll tell you this. I know Belton made mistakes and the whole getting to the line of scrimmage thing and all that stuff in the game in Indianapolis. I get it. He looked really good in the game against the Jets in the first preseason game. That cat don't take crap. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He got shoved, and my man is a building with feet. He didn't move, and when he shoved back, ass and elbows. That was it. Ass. And next thing you know, here comes Kraft, and then it was just like coaches are trying to rip guys out, and Belton's swinging. He's got like an assistant coach on him, and he's still just going. It's like they're trying to take down Rod Rilla and just grabbing him. And I was like, hell yes. Now, I don't know what he's going to end up being this season. I don't think he's going to be a starter on the offensive line, but I'm like, I want to see that cat play. Between him and Brandon Sorrell, I want to see those cats play, man. I love that. It's like, and then guys are backing them up, and then you got coaches, and they're like yelling at him, like, you got to keep your composure. And then you got, I don't know who it was, because I couldn't tell the number, comes over and grabs you by the helmet, headbutts him like, hell yeah. Oh, it was great.
Dude, I liked seeing the energy because it's feel like milquetoast for so far in the preseason to see that. And then I'm pro. I was always anti punching a guy with the helmet on because like, what are you doing? But the Guardian caps. Did you see guys hitting people with Guardian caps on? I'm like, okay, the head's protected and your hand's protected. It's pillow soft. Like it's just sending a message. Sending a message.
Man, I loved it. I was sitting there, and part of me was like, oh yeah. The other part of me just cracking up. I was just like, this is awesome. So
like I know, like LaFleur, does he like it? Did he not like it? Because he kicked out Zach Tom for doing it, but Tom was like, he's like, I know that they got my back and they know that I got theirs. I'm like, hell yeah. Camaraderie building.
So, boy, I tell you what, I loved listening to the game, driving out to La Crosse yesterday, and the fact that the Brewers won and pretty much shut the Cubs down for all the firepower the Cubs had in that series. And the Brewers did not. To see Bryce Terang go yard again, hit the 2-run shot, and then ultimately win the game. All of that consternation for Brewers fans. And I said it at the time, if they go in and they lose a game, who cares? They're 7 games up. On average, you get a game and a half. If you really get hot and play 750 ball and the team that you're chasing plays only 500 ball, it takes you you get a game and a half a week, basically. That's it. So if you start to really map out the end of the season, you've done it. I mean, if the averages play out, then you'll still win the division by a game and a half. If the Brewers play just strictly 500 ball and the Cubs go on just a tyrannous roll, they still lose the division. If you do the math. And I sat down last night, I'm like, yeah, they would lose by a game and a half. So not worried about it. I don't think it's a big deal. Our buddy over there, Scholze Family Farm, by the way. Love that place. Scholze Family. We got to get them back on as a sponsor, man. Happy with the Cubs. The Brewers went incredibly hot. At some point, we knew they were going to cool off. So to only lose a game in the standings in a 5-game series, fantastic. I agree. That's what I said. I'm good with that.
Was anyone chirping you, Bill, saying that you're going to have to eat some crow after you called the division?
Nope.
After the Cubs lost won 3 in a row?
When they won 3 in a row, the Cubs fans were coming after me, and I said, it's not over. And you're not going to win it. I said, and again, here's the funny thing. You suck. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. So, okay. If you firmly believe that, put your money where your mouth is. I'll put up $100 for charity. You put up $100 for charity. Let's go. Crickets.
Of course.
Crickets. When you're asked to put your money where your mouth is, crickets. Because I'll do it. I'm right here. I will proclaim it right here. I'll write it down. I'll take names. I'll take receipts. And I'll put myself out there. Because that's what we do each and every day. For 4 hours, we sit here and we pontificate about certain things. Sometimes we're right. Sometimes we're wrong. But in this particular case, I said, I will take all comers. Nobody. No, maybe there was one person, I think that said they would do it. But nope, Nobody. Everybody that says I was an idiot, I was an ass, I was the Skip Bayless, and I was nothing more than a Chicago radio, all the other crap they said, all the receipts that I took, all the names that I gave. Nobody came in and said, hey, boom, here's my balls. I'll go ahead and take the $100 bet. Nobody did it. Everybody went home, and then you know what they're doing? They're putting on their shorts, and they're reaching in their pocket, and they're going, honey, have you seen my testicles? And she's saying, no, you ain't got none. So that's all there was to it. So no, it never happened. No, so it never happened. So I'm good. I'm good. Good for it.
Good. That's good.
That's how we started the show today.
Where do we go from here?
I know, right? There's nowhere to go but down. There's nowhere to go.
I don't know. We haven't even peaked yet, Bill, though. We go up. We go up more. We go up.
We got coming up bottom of the hour. Bill Huber's going to be joining us from Sports Illustrated live up in Green Bay. We also got Mike Clemens live up in Green Bay today. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free to go ahead and do so. And from there, we are going to also talk to Steve Zautke. Steve Zautke's over at the Milwaukee Mile. They got the mile cleaned up. The infield's fine. Everything's ready to go. You got the IndyCar series that has rolled into town. I was driving past there, and oh my goodness, you've got the haulers and the toy haulers and all that stuff, the car carriers and everything, all the different vendors that are there. It's good to see racing back at the Milwaukee Mile on a continual basis. So have you ever seen a race at the Mile, Ebo?
No, I have not.
It's a unique experience. If you ever get a chance to do it, do it. But if whatever you do, first of all, go as a media member. It's not a huge press box, but go as a media member because you sit up high in the press box. The one thing I will say is there's no coverage. So if it's a bright, hot, sunny day, you have no coverage, short of maybe bringing an umbrella.
And I'm albino.
Oh, you'll burst into flames.
I need SPF 1000. It's fine.
But you go up top and you can see the entire track because it's only a mile long, but it's not a highly banked track. So it's a physical endurance race for these guys, the 250 that they're getting ready to run. And they get the media center, which is in the middle of the racetrack. But it's such a cool venue, and I'm glad to see it having life again. So cool stuff. We'll talk to Steve Zautke from Traction Reaction Podcast coming up a little bit later on as well. All right, that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We got a lot more. Don't forget Bill Huber coming up 10 minutes from now. Well, really 15 minutes from now. Stay tuned. More right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome out, Bill Michaels Show. I got to say thanks to everybody. And I'll do this again next hour when we have everybody on the network. But thanks to everybody all season long that came out and saw us at the Quick Trip, Quick Spirits cigar dinners all season long. All 6 of them sold out. And all 6 of them sold out almost in record time, to be perfectly honest with you. There just weren't tickets to be had. I know yesterday I had a friend of mine that reached out and I said, I'll try. And they called me back and said right away, like, nope, we told you that there's only so many and that's it. And we had record crowds this year. So it's great to do these things. It's so much fun. I think it's my 8th or 9th season of doing these, and every show sells out. Every show. I think there was one that it was like in the end of a season, mid-September or something, and the weather wasn't going to be great. I can't remember that one that didn't sell out, but they sell out every year. And we had another great season that culminated last night out at Pettibone out in La Crosse, Wisconsin. So thanks to everybody that came out and hung out with us, and we had so much fun. Told so many stories. Last night, have you ever done that, Ebo, where you do just Q&As?
Well, we had an event last night. Some listeners come out and they just, when I have events, people just ask you questions. I like being off air, given I'm real on air, but I get to be a little more,
It's more raw.
Yeah, raw.
Yeah, it's more raw. It's more, unabridged. And, but we
get a couple drinks in me,
Yeah. I think we had 65, 70 people last night for the dinners. And I've never had where usually it's about the Packers and the Brewers and the Bucks and then there's general sports and NIL and Badgers and Luke Fickell and Greg Gard, and you get a lot of that. And last night it was a lot of stuff about just off the wall questions, my favorite color and why, and some stories about what you've done in your past and how'd you get from point A to point B. And, then it's like some of the things that we've seen. And I've always said, these are the things, that's what you pay for, because there's stuff that we've seen that, and when you're credentialed to go into places, you see things that the regular fan doesn't get to, I always said, it's not that we are anything special doing what we do. We're just a fan who is on the radio, who gets a chance to talk to people, and we get credentialed. So I've always taken that as, I'm going to be your eyes and ears walking into a locker room, walking into a situation like Super Bowl or whatever, where we get a chance to see things and we'll describe it to you.
Yeah.
And we'll say, this is what it's like. This is what it is behind closed doors. So we can at least kind of bring you inside and give you some insight, and whatever you do with it from there is so it's like, who's your favorite, player to interview? Who's biggest ass you've ever interviewed? And
That's the worst.
It was
Who's
fun.
the worst one? Who's the worst one you've ever interviewed?
That's
the question I always get.
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino?
Dan Marino. If that man was on fire, I would not pee him out. That guy, and I've told this story before, we were at Super Bowl in Arizona. And no. We were at Super Bowl in New York. And next to us was Sports Illustrated. And this goes back some years, but next to us was Sports Illustrated. And just about every celebrity or every athlete or whomever is walking Radio Row has a booker. And usually their bookers are between the ages of 21 and 27. They're usually a girl, really attractive, and they work the circuit. Mm-hmm. And this girl comes over to our table, and we had just kind of started the network, and she looks and she says, "Oh, a network. Okay." And then she went, Wisconsin. Forget it. She literally said that to me. And then Marino, who I had sent at the time one of our producers to go get, said, "Yeah, check with my booker." And then he then gets word from her that it's us asking, because we're trying to kind of now circumvent her because I'm like, he'd be a good guy to get. And at the time he was working with Boomer Esiason, and I know Boomer, and Boomer said, yeah, get Dan on. And then he goes, I'm not doing anything for Wisconsin. What's in Wisconsin? And he was just kind of a jerk about it. I mean, just an ass.
Yeah.
So then the next year, I think we're in Phoenix. The same girl comes over. Now we're bigger. We're no longer like 3 stations. We've grown. And now I think we're like 22 stations, but now we're recognized because we ended up getting, like, Joe Montana wanted to come on the program. Peyton Manning wanted to come on the program. There was a whole host of regular, like, A-listers that wanted to join the program at the time. And he walks over and says, yeah, I really like to be on it. And he's just, all of a sudden, it's like he completely forgot that he was just a total dick to us. Mm-hmm. And I looked at him and I looked at her and I said, do you remember last year? And she said, no, just snotty as snotty could be. And again, we are positioned next to Sports Illustrated. And there's rumors about Dan being a total D-bag. And I said, you couldn't have been any nastier to us had you tried. So you, and I pointed at both of them, can go somewhere else because I don't need you and I certainly don't need you. And if that's your representation, I would certainly think about getting different representation. You can leave.
Isn't it crazy? Because you're in the business of talking to people. Like, I'm sure, Dan, when at the Super Bowl, you're promoting something too, like the people walking around. And don't you want to promote to all? Don't you want to be out there for everyone? Why would you want to come off cross like an a-hole?
Right.
You're in the people business.
Right.
I don't understand people like that either, dude.
Sometimes
tell you the agents are just donkeys.
I will tell you this. I ate one of the most expensive meals of my life that night and never paid for it. That was Sports Illustrated, when they were doing the CNNSI. And that was very, very, very early of, I think, Barstool Sports and Portnoy and those guys. Mm-hmm. And they heard it. And they all bought me dinner. They're like, thank God somebody had the balls to say something to that jackass. And then he got fired by CBS. That was it. Then he's pimping books and everything else, and he's hawking. Remember, he went on Slim Fast or whatever, Tank Ass or whatever the hell it was. He was doing all kinds of different stuff at the time that he was hawking, and he would always come down the row and he'd look at us, and he never forgot. He would just like turn away, like, I don't even want to be humiliated. But that guy couldn't have been a bigger jackass had he tried to be. So yeah, that's the biggest jackass I know of in sports. So. Other than
you should ask Randy about our boss about Dan Marino. He's a Bills fan, right? He has a story about Dan Marino where he looked him square in the eyes and said, if you were dying of thirst in the desert, I wouldn't give you a glass of water.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because of the Bills,
right?
Dolphins.
Oh, good for him.
Yes.
Yeah, as a Bills
fan. Marino's like, what?
Yeah. Huh? Well, I went a little further. If he was on fire, I wouldn't pee him out. But, I wouldn't give you my urine. So. Bill Huber, Sports Illustrated, going to join us coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome in. Bill Michaels Show. Welcome. Great place to sit down, watch a game, whatever it happens to be. Watch the Brewers, Bucks, Packers, Badgers. You can keep going. DJ's Goalpost, Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls. Also want to remind you, they have a huge memorabilia collection there. They over there at DJ's. Don has put together an amazing, amazing collection. It's like just watching sports in a Hall of Fame museum of memorabilia. It's extremely cool. So check out DJ's Goalpost, Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls. Joining us now on the hotline, Bill Huber, our guy, Sports Illustrated, the man that asks the questions that are always lurking in my mind, standing by and getting ready for what we would call a Donnybrook of a boxing match with maybe the possibility of a Packers practice behind it. Bill, how you doing, pal?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. So I'm told by numerous people that say, you know what, fights aren't always a bad thing in camp. Yes, coaches want to get the work done, but that's something that can be team bonding. So after yesterday's Donnybrook, how was it in the locker room?
Yeah, typical locker room. Zach Tom. It was funny. Zach Tom was getting dressed in his locker with his back turned to us, and he turns around, and we're all standing there, and he just kind of laughs. You guys waiting for me, he says. So, I mean, I think everybody understands it's kind of the way it is for joint practices. And as Keyshawn Nixon said, you know, the refs are there, but they're not really there. They can't do anything about it. So right. It's an excuse to be ultra competitive, blow off some steam. Probably no harm, no foul. Zach Tom adamantly told me, Pete Doherty, that it was an open hand and not a fist. to protect his hands. So, it was kind of everybody seemed entertained by it, I guess I would say.
Which is great. I mean, it can't, when people have your back, and I saw Belton was, throwing down. I saw that Tucker Kraft was getting agitated. It was great to see guys backing up other guys, headbutts after the fact. And even though coaches are yelling at you to kind of keep your composure, it was great. It was great to see. And for a team that, as we did the other day about what would you describe the Green Bay Packers as, what is their identity? And the majority of the people that kind of emailed us or came on the program said it was soft. And now you've got a team that's showing some fight and some grit. And so we'll see. But overall, give me your.
Yeah, I would say that soft thing is nonsense.
Okay.
That's just not true.
I don't know what specifically soft means. You know what I mean?
Well, they ran the ball more than 50% of the time last year. That's not soft. Josh Jacobs is not a soft running back. And the run defense has been bad for years. Last year, I think it was fifth or sixth in yards allowed per carry. That's not soft. They got beat by the Eagles. The Eagles will make a lot of people look bad. I would say the Packers are not soft. Maybe years past, but not this group. That's crap.
Yeah, you and I agree, because I said, well, what is soft? But there's a perception out there, and I don't know if it comes from the head coach. I don't know if it comes from games where they just didn't shut them down because they don't have that tenacious edge rusher or what. I have no idea, but that was the perception. So my argument to that is, well, you got to go out and win ball games. You got to go out and beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, and maybe you look at a guy like Dan Campbell, who's Mr. Machismo, versus Matt LaFleur, and you go, well, our team is soft and their team isn't, and that can be the comparison as well. But give me the helicopter view of what you have right now, what your thoughts are right now of camp and the totality of this team as we effort towards this last preseason game.
Yeah, I have as many questions now as I did 6 weeks ago. The offenses have been injured all year. I mean, look, the team is going to go as far as Jordan Love can take them. I have no idea what Jordan Love is right now. I shouldn't say that. I have no idea what the passing game is. Is Jordan Love in that passing game going to be good enough to win potential shootouts against the Joe Burrows of the world, to win playoff games? I have no idea, because I haven't seen them. And defensively, the defense has looked good all training camp, but I was against a beat up Packers offense. So what the hell do you make out of that? And then I thought Green Bay's defense got worked yesterday. I thought Seattle outplayed them, but it's one day. I mean, Green Bay destroyed the Ravens in the joint practice last year. What did that mean? Nothing. So right. I just have no idea whatsoever. Come off the field yesterday, I thought the defense is going to have a long season against really good quarterbacks, but that's 1-2 hour glimpse into things, and I don't want to get too carried away by it. But I don't feel any different than I did on July 22nd, honestly.
I look at preseason like a pitcher trying to get ready for the regular season in spring training. Because all you're trying to do is hit your marks. You're not trying to really outthink a batter. You're not trying to set a guy out with a breaking ball to get him along a low and away fastball that's got move. Yeah, all you're trying to do is hit your spots, hit the top edges, hit the round corners, that type of thing, and just get your work in. So when people put all this emphasis in wins and losses and who's performing, and this is great, and I don't necessarily go that deep into it, because I really look for the one-on-one battles. I look for, are you kicking a guy's ass across from you, and are you physically better than that guy that is across from you? That's what I look for. That's it. What do you look for?
I want to see guys. I guess I would agree. I want to see guys win one-on-ones. I want to see, and like yesterday, I wanted to see Keyshawn Nixon and Valentine and those guys. I wanted to see how they're going to match up against Cooper Kupp and Smith and Jigba. That's the $1 million question, right? Is how is Green Bay's defense going to beat Jared Goff in week 1 and Jamie Daniels in week 2? And everybody knows the list. I want to see how those guys are going to fare against the cream of the crop kind of players. Again, I thought Darnold picked him apart yesterday. But again, what do you make out of 1-2 hour segment in the grand scheme of things? Like I said, I don't know. It's going to be a challenging season. I just don't feel like this team is like great. Maybe Jordan Love is going to light the world on fire, and we just haven't seen it because he's been hurt. But it's going to be a challenge, I think, this year, just because the division is so good and the schedule is so good and the quarterbacks are so good along the way.
Do you feel this offense has the potential to be great?
Sure. We've seen Jordan Love be great. I mean, the second half of 2023 was Rodgers-esque. Like, it wasn't quite run the table, Rodgers, but that stretch was about as good a quarterbacking as you can find. So we know that Jordan Love can do it. And obviously, all those guys who caught those passes are all around. Jaden Reed's a better player now than he was then, and Tucker Kraft's a better player now than he was then. So, yeah, there's no reason why they can't. And the O-line, as long as the O-line can stay healthy, the offensive line's going to be really good. Josh Jacobs is really good. So, yeah, they certainly could be great for sure. 100%.
That's going to be my next question, because they wanted to get more physical and beefier up front offensively, and they did that. And I wanted to know your insight on the gelling of the offensive line, looking at these guys. And obviously, Jordan Morgan and Rasheed Walker, they've got the battle over at the left tackle position. You're trying to get your first-round draft choice to ascend, obviously. But the offensive line, how much better do you think it can be than what it was?
That's a great question, Bill. And again, I don't know. Literally, they've taken I'm sure they've taken some reps. I'll exaggerate. I mean, they haven't taken any reps, though. I mean, it was Aaron Banks is out to start training camp, and then Walker was out, and Banks is out again, and then Jenkins is out at start of camp too. I mean, they just haven't gotten out there. I think Aaron Banks. I think the jury's out on that signing. The Packers are paying Aaron Banks great player money to a guy who's never been great. And we haven't seen him really out there enough to get much of a feel for it. Zach Tom and kind of downplayed it yesterday, the lack of chemistry. Because, right now, who's starting at left tackle? And if it's Rasheed Walker, does Jordan Morgan start at right guard to get him on the field? I mean, there's a lot up in the air at this point. And again, Zach Tom kind of downplayed the chemistry part of it and said they've taken enough reps together along the way. But yeah, they'll be as good as that group can take them. And I just haven't seen him out there. I just haven't seen Aaron Banks go play live competition. So yeah, I think it's going to be a lot on those guys for sure. They could be better, because you think on paper that Elton Jenkins is better than Myers, and Banks will be at least as good as Jenkins, or on par with Jenkins at left guard. So they should be better, but we'll see.
4 days away from cutdown day, and we always get a surprise. There's always somebody who gets cut that you're thinking, "Whoa, I didn't really see that coming," or I thought it might happen, but it kind of surprises me. Is Romeo Doubs that guy?
No, I don't.
I don't think so either.
That's like content farming right there.
Right.
I mean, why would you get rid of? Look, Wicks is injured. Reed's injured. Yep. Fabian Williams can't get in the field. Why the hell would you get rid of Romeo Doubs? Who's had a really good training camp. I mean, that's preposterous. I mean, if everybody was healthy and humming, you could say, well, yeah, I can see that, but they're not healthy. And at this point, Malik Heath has taken 1,000 reps because they've got nobody else. So, no, I just think that's just clown show writing by whoever put that out there.
I completely agree. That's a question everywhere I go. It keeps coming up, and they're saying, well, people are saying, and I'm like, I don't know why you would do that. Not to mention Romeo Doubs was the guy that worked out with Jordan Love back when Aaron Rodgers was here, and those two guys, Jordan Love has said 2 or 3 times, that's my guy. So I don't understand where it's coming from, but for whatever reason, that seems to be a narrative that's running around out there. How good do you think Matthew Golden is?
Oh man, he's really good. And I just hate to be speaking hyperbole about rookie receivers, but he's been fantastic. He was really good in May. He was really good in June. He was really good in July, and he's been even better in August. So I've seen. I didn't see the joint practice in Indy, but there's been 17 training camp practices that I did see, and we got to see 5 off-season practices. He dropped 1 pass. 1.
Yeah.
And everybody talks about the 4.29 speed, and he's fast, but he's making plays on the other stuff because he's a really good route runner. And I assume some of that has to do with defensive backs are scared to get beat, so maybe they play off or a little conservative to not get beat. But the guy gets open like all the time, and he catches the ball all the time. I want to say receiver. I don't want to say number 1 receiver. But I would be surprised if he's not their best receiver by the end of the year. He's really good.
Go to the defensive side of the ball. We're all standing down in Indianapolis at the Combine when Brian Gutekunst stated that, no, they're not going to go get an edge rusher because Lucas Van Ness is ready to have that breakout season. And we all kind of looked at each other with a little bit of a raised eyebrow and went, okay, he's got to see something that maybe we haven't seen thus far. And we know Lucas Van Ness had the busted up thumb. So has he shown you the glimpses of having the breakout season?
I would say so, yeah. He's been really good against the run all summer, and he's been impactful against the pass. It's kind of hard to judge it when it's Packers against Packers because they're taught to run past the quarterback, and bull rushing is kind of discouraged when it's Packers against Packers. So I think we'll learn more as we go here. But yeah, I would say he's been a lot more impactful on the practice field than he has been. And yeah, he had a cast on his hand for 2/3 of the year last year. Mm-hmm. It's hard to play football like that. So yeah, I do see that belated year 2 jump now coming in year 3 for him for sure.
What about Edgerrin Cooper?
Now, is that going to be a 10 sacks? Is that 10 sacks? I don't know if that's 10 sacks, but he'll be a lot better player.
What about Edgerrin Cooper?
I just said I hate speaking hyperbole, but he has got all pro potential, and I don't say that flippantly or pie in the sky. He's got a chance to be the next great linebacker in the NFL. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, from what I've seen. The guy he's so fast. We saw it all last year where I've written this a few times. He led all rookies last year in tackles for losses. Now, that's usually a pass rusher stat because sacks are TFLs. So that's usually pass rushers, and B, he filled like 45% of the snaps. It was absurd what he did. Right. So now you got a guy who's more experienced. He's just as fast. He's put on weight. So he's got the experience. He's got everything now to go with that, just elite physical skill set that he's got. He's the kind of guy the Packers have wanted forever. He's the kind of guy who you can build a defense around. He's the kind of guy that the opposing offensive coordinator has to game plan around. He's going to lose sleep at night trying to figure out where 56 is and how do we stop him.
What is the weakness of this team then? Is it the secondary?
Yeah, I would say that. And I'm going to post a story here in the next 15, 20 minutes. I mean, Sam Darnold just killed him yesterday. Yeah. Again, it's a 2-hour segment of training camp. But it's Sam Darnold who threw for 650 yards against the Packers. Literally 650 yards against the Packers last year. And Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp are really good, but they're not Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, right? And they're not St. Brown and it's, and all the guys are going to face. I think Keyshawn Nixon is probably better than people think he is, but is Keyshawn Nixon a stopper? I don't think so. And Hafley can scheme around some things. I get all that, but when push comes to shove, Bill, and it's week 1 and the Packers are winning by 2 points and it's 2 minutes to go and Jared Goff has the ball, who's going to win? Goff or the Packers? Right. I think Jared Goff wins. I just don't know how Green Bay has the answers pass rush wise and coverage wise to beat those really good guys whether it's September against the Lions or January in the playoffs. I just don't see how that's going to happen. I could be wrong.
How much pressure is on the Packers to win game 1 against the Lions in Lambeau?
It's huge.
Yeah.
You got I think Campbell's won 3 in a row here. He's won 6 out of the last 7 against Green Bay. Obviously you hate to fall behind early, but then you got Washington coming to town. If you're 0-2, you lost them both at home, you're almost dead meat.
Yeah.
I'll have to go look it up. I'm going to make up the numbers here, Bill, but this will be fairly close.
Go! And we lost Bill. I was just getting ready to go to break, but Bill Huber. Thank Bill for.
I think he's back.
Is he back? Okay. I want him to finish his thought.
Yeah, that's me.
There you go. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, one of the cell phones. So I'm going to make up the numbers here. That's going to be pretty close. I want to say 0-2 teams have like a 15% chance of making the playoffs. That's fairly close.
Right.
That's not good enough. Both those losses came at home, and you're up Bleep Creek.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of pressure on week 1, and with the uncertainty in the coaching staff of the Lions, either that's an advantage to Green Bay or it's element of surprise to Detroit. We'll see. But yeah, it's a huge game for sure.
I said if they don't start off really fast, 6-2, 7-1, something like that, this could end up being an ugly season because of the way the season ends. Being on the road in Chicago, playing Chicago twice within 3 weeks, having Baltimore coming to town, getting the Vikings on the road, the Lions on the road. It could be a really ugly end of the season if they don't get off to a fast start.
It is, yeah. And you look, Green Bay's a good team. I probably said a lot of negative stuff over the last 15 minutes. Green Bay is really good. They are. But the schedule's really good, too. And like you said, if you start off slowly, it's going to be a challenge to bounce back from. It just is, just because it's just the way the schedule's set up.
Yeah. Bill, it's great stuff. I appreciate it. Love the questions all the time, listening to you in the press conferences, and we'll talk again real soon, okay?
All right. Take care. I'll appreciate it.
Thanks, pal. There you go. You can catch his stuff at Sports Illustrated, SI. And that's where he is. And great stuff by Bill Huber. He's the guy that just kind of asks those questions, just blurts it out, which is fantastic. I love Bill. Let's do this. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll come back. We got a lot more to get to this portion of the program. Brought to you by our friends at Potawatomi Hotel Casino. The sports book is open. And if you put some money down on the Packers now, maybe to go to the Super Bowl, who knows what will happen? Win the division, who knows what will happen? Maybe get yourself a little bit of cash along the way, or you just go down and enjoy the games. The weekends, obviously, if you're going to go down there, you can go down to the sports book, throw down a few, and then come over to American Family Field, catch the shuttle, check out the Brewers, head back. They've got the hotel there, a bunch of restaurants, bars, music. They're jamming down there. Everything's under one roof. That is our friends from Potawatomi. Go to paysbig.com. That is paysbig.com.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The roll screen, the ability to roll a window screen up and down like a shade. Pella invested in this breakthrough when the business was born and has introduced the world to innovative, game-changing designs ever since. Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Our incredible craftsmen have always been driven by the principles of traditional American values and the desire to enrich the homes and lives of others. They've been at it for a century. When you want long-lasting comfort and reliability, we make it easy for you to trust Pella. Every piece is specifically constructed for you and your home. Pella always designs with innovation and rigorously tests each product for quality and performance. Our team takes pride in constructing quality windows and doors with meticulous attention to every detail. Investing in new Pella windows and doors creates long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years. And if you order by August 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome in. The Friday edition. Bill Michaels Show. Glad you're here, and it is a grilling kind of weekend. If you're heading down to the ballpark today, tomorrow, over the weekend, at any point in time, or even early next week, go down to Robert's Specialty Meats in Waukesha. And whether it is getting the handmade sausages or the burgers, the ribs on a stick, the garlic parm chicken skewers, steaks, bacon wrapped fillets, bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers. I mean, I can go on and on. They've got so many good stuff, or just the deli stuff that is right there, whether it's the pasta salads, the potato salads, the macaroni salads. They're all fantastic. And people raved about it when we took it out and fed it to a good group of people out there at Sturgis, South Dakota. Great stuff. That's Robert's Specialty Meats on Sunset Drive in Waukesha. All season in Wisconsin. It's grilling season, baby. We got 3 more hours yet to go. Don't go anywhere. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers earned a 4-1 win down in Chicago over the Cubs yesterday to push their lead in the NL Central back to 7 games. Milwaukee had a 2-run homer from Bryce Terang, and Isaac Collins gave them a 2-run single, while Quinn Priester gave up just 1 run in 4 1/3 innings of work, with Trevor McGill picking up his 30th save of the season. Turning to the Packers, they had a joint practice with the Seahawks yesterday in what was the final day of training camp open to the public, and the fans got football and a fight. Packers right tackle Zach Tom was right in the middle of it all.
Like I said, we were in the huddle, and somebody in our huddle, it's already kind of disrespectful that they're in our huddle, and then somebody gets hit while we're in the huddle. You got to have some pride.
Tom was kicked out of practice for his role in the fight, said he probably could have controlled himself better, but didn't think the outcome was all bad.
I mean, it's nice to know that we have each other's back. Obviously, that's going to make us closer as a team, but like I said, it'd be better if we, found it out in a different way. Like I said, the silver lining is I know that the whole offense got my back, and I got everybody else's back.
Packers and Seahawks will have their final preseason game tomorrow. Kickoff from Lambeau is at 3 o'clock.
For nearly 40 years, ABC Wisconsin Apprenticeship has been helping men and women transform themselves into highly skilled trade professionals. These skills are in demand and provide strong wages and benefits for a bright future. If you're a hands-on person who likes the feeling when you get projects done, apprenticeship could be for you. Go to buildyourcareerwi.org or just search online for ABC of Wisconsin.
We are less than a week away from Wisconsin starting their season at Camp Randall against Miami of Ohio. Now, the Badgers are predicted to finish 12th in the Big Ten in Luke Fickell's 3rd year with the program. The Badgers are currently 17.5-point favorites over the Redhawks for Thursday night at 8 o'clock. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Welcome in, Bill Michaels Show on a Friday edition. Evo in for Grant. Grant is off to a wedding. Just using up every bit of time he got. And today we are waiting for the Packers to take the practice field as maybe another boxing match breaks out, getting ready for tomorrow afternoon's contest. I think 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, right, Evo, is when they play tomorrow at Lambeau Field?
You got it.
So we got that going on. Brewers back out at San Francisco in town. 3-game set over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then they've got Arizona coming to town for a 4-game set as well. We have got racing at the Milwaukee Mile. The Badgers are less than a week away from kicking off their season. So a lot of stuff going on. You got the craziness from Jerry Jones. He can't help himself.
He can't. He really can't. Well, when you have so much money, I always thought this about Tom Cruise. Like, he's got so much money, he's done everything. So you got to get kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
You got to make your own drama, got to make your own fun. That's like Jerry Jones. All the money, he's probably done everything. Let's just get weird with it.
He can't help himself. That whole description, which I think it's going to drop in about an hour. Well, no, it's dropping now, as a matter of fact. If you go to YouTube and you check out Stephen A. Smith or whatever it is on YouTube, he did a one-on-one with Jerry Jones about the whole Micah Parsons thing. And Jerry described as a kid going to mom, asking mom for something before dinner, and mom said no. And so he runs to dad, and dad says, yeah. And then he goes back to mom, and mom says, well, dad told me I can, so I'm going to. And so I'm doing this. And then in the meantime, is he calling Micah Parsons a child, himself a child?
I think I have the clip.
Dave Miglietta, a child, and boy, he did nothing but piss off players.
I think I have it. It's 1 minute and 8 seconds.
Yeah, this is Jerry Jones.
I think that's what it is. I think
talking about the whole disconnect between him and Micah Parsons.
Let me just there you go.
Not doing the spirit of not doing the old mother-dad deal. How many times have you seen the little rascal so clever go in there and mama told him, you're not going to get it. And goes in to daddy, who only sees him after 5 in the afternoon, wants to love him, and says, you can have it, son. You can have that before dinner. And he goes back in and says, mama, daddy said I could have it. That's the old mom, dad, been around since the beginning of time. I'm not going to go for that here. That's what's happening.
You're not going for it.
I'm not going for it. No. But we've had a very, very strong negotiation. Now, by the way, frankly, it wouldn't have made any difference what the negotiation was. Guess who has to be comfortable for this to work?
Micah.
And who else?
You.
Hello. There's not room for a third. There's not room for a third. This will be a good one.
He's an idiot. He's really an idiot. Now, somebody's lying, because what he said was, in part of this interview, was that Micah Parsons called him and wanted to talk. And then him and Micah Parsons basically put the deal together. And Micah said, I'm going to have my agent then reach out. And he said, well, wait, what are we reaching out for? And so Jerry said, we'll send over the information. And the agent said, and to use Jerry's terminology, stick it up your blank. We're starting the negotiations now. Micah said that he got called into Jerry's office. Now, you get called into the owner's office, you go. Micah said he got called into Jerry's office for what was supposed to be a leadership council meeting for the team. And it turned into negotiations. And Micah sat there and nodded his head as if in agreement. And then basically Jerry said, here, we want you to sign this. Micah's like, well, not without my agent. And Jerry's like, we got a deal, so we'll just send it over to your agent. And the agent said no. So somebody's lying. And Micah Parsons, in the meantime, in the last 24 hours, scrubbed all of his accounts of any Cowboys mentions, says team in the NFL to play for, TBD, and now promotes himself as a former player at Penn State.
Jordan Love has the same agent.
Yes.
As Micah Parsons.
Yes. Other
Kay Adams
have the
yesterday,
same agent.
Kay Adams had Jordan Love on, and she goes, "You know, it'd be cool. Micah Parsons, you guys have the same agent. What do you think about that?" And Jordan Love's, "Yeah, that would be pretty cool, but we'll see what happens."
Right. It's bizarre. Okay, that's not a small agency, by the way. That's a big agency. Big it's one of the bigger ones there is. And David represents a boatload of players in the NFL. But what Jerry said, he said, right now there's 3 entities involved in the Micah Parsons deal that really count. Me, Micah, and he said sitting out there about a mile back is his agent. He won't even use David by name. He won't even call him by name. So there's something there between the agent and Jerry Jones that Jerry has a thing for. But I don't, if I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm like, you got to go away, Jerry. You got to go away. Jerry's ego is bigger than AT&T Stadium, and he is the show. And Jerry did the "I own you" in a very backhanded way, saying you're under contract, and then I've got the right to franchise tag you for the next 2 years. So in essence, I own you for 3 years.
He was on with Michael Irvin, and according to Jerry, offered him the most guaranteed money of any defensive player in the NFL in history, implies that he is prepared to tag him in 26 and 27, and explains that the agent has other motives in the deal, then later said the agent told him to take the contract he negotiated with Parsons in March and stick it where the sun don't shine.
Right. Yeah, it's a really bizarre circumstance that it has become this personal. Now Jerry even alludes to, well, Dak and I had a disagreement and Dak played and then Dak got paid. But remember, Jerry's also the one that said we paid Dak and then he got hurt. He backhanded Dak. He talked about Micah Parsons not playing a full season last year. He backhanded him. It's just, the more I hear players and former players talk about Jerry Jones now and what he's doing, they are referring to plantation. They are referring to ownership. They are referring to muscle flex. They are referring to these veiled threats that Jerry's going to franchise tag him for 2 years. So I own you. That Jerry doesn't care about winning. Jerry cares about being Jerry and being right. I mean, all this different stuff. And I'm not talking like, Jerry's crazy and they kind of laugh. Like, they're pissed that Jerry's being this big of a D-bag for whatever reason. And Jerry is saying, no, I gave him everything in good faith. And Jerry even said, in our negotiation, I was here. And then I said, okay, well, we'll come here. And then I said, okay, well, we'll come here. So he feels like he's already negotiated the deal and Micah Parsons backed out. So Jerry's like, well, what am I negotiating with an agent for? We've already done this deal. But no player walks into an owner's meeting thinking it's, now again, if you go by Micah Parsons, thinking it's a leadership council meeting for your team. And then suddenly you start talking about total money. Well, that's great, but you're not into accelerators. You're not into years of guaranteed. You're not into certain things that can give you bonuses, risers, so to speak. You're not doing all of that. You don't negotiate that. That's what you have your people for, your agent for. And so Jerry feels like he worked all that out. Like he slid something past him. And the agent's like, no. We'll go through all this. And Jerry's like, I already did. I'm not doing it again. I'll send you the paperwork. And the agent's like, well, we're not signing it. So that's where we're at in all of this. And it's very bizarre by what Jerry Jones is doing.
I have a timeline of other players that this agent has. And they say this agent, his MO from the other perspective is to hold out trade request, public pressure, and then eventual record deal. And they give examples of Deshaun Watson refused to play, forced to trade, landed the biggest guaranteed deal ever.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey demanded a trade, dealt to the Rams, signed a record cornerback contract. Michael Thomas, training camp holdout, signed then record wide receiver deal. Budda Baker, trade request, camp drama before guarantees. Derwin James, camp holdout, then got a record contract for a safety. T. Higgins, tagged, requested trade, then left that agent after a no long-term deal, and now they're on Micah Parsons with the history of the same agent.
Yeah. It's a man. It's kind of a really weird, dynamic. So I don't know, but it's just Jerry Jones, when he opens his mouth, sounds like a babbling idiot. We go back to brisket and eating brisket and whatever the hell that was about years ago, and then running the option, going back to the negotiation with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, and I've got another one under my sleeve, and I'm running to the edge line, and it's like what? Well, now he's got mama and daddy playing against each other with the little kid. And I ain't playing that S here. Who's running to mama and daddy? You know,
we might have an immovable object versus an unstoppable force here, Bill, with Jerry
Correct.
Jones and this agent.
It's crazy, but it makes for great drama.
It's good,
and
isn't it?
Between that and everything that's gone on, now they've made some decent deals and they brought in a little bit of talent, but between Schottenheimer being the yes man, head coach after they fired Mike McCarthy, now you got the Michael Parsons drama, because that's all everybody's talking about. Plus Jerry Jones, documentary of Jerry being Jerry. There is no focus on football. And if I'm a Cowboys fan, why am I expecting this team to have any wins at all? Maybe 5, 6, 7 wins. Why am I expecting them to have any wins at all? Because the focus is all on Jerry. The focus is not on football. It's not about getting better. It's not about being a great team. You got Jerry landing helicopters in the middle of practice fields during practice. It's just, if he could just fly a plane over Dallas and have his junk hanging out of it to show everybody who's got the biggest junk and wrinkled junk, that's what it would be. Because that's what he cares about. I don't believe I think he wants to win, but he is not going to win anybody else's way but his own. And it's become more and more and more evident the older he gets. So it's just a really bizarre scenario. Let's do this. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Who we got? We got Mike coming up next, right? Clemens?
Did Mike want to move to the...
Yeah, he wanted to move. So if I'm not mistaken, Mike Clemens is going to join us coming up next.
Oh, yeah, 11:25.
Yeah, so we're going to
11:25 and 11:30.
Yeah, we're going to talk with Mike coming up because...
I'm really interested in Mike because what Bill Huber was talking about with the Packers, it sounded like doom and gloom. Not doom and gloom, but it sounded not good.
Right.
With Bill Huber breaking down the Packers. Well, I'm interested to hear Mike.
Yeah, you've had Mike on.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I've asked Mike questions about identities and questions about players and questions, all that kind of stuff. And Mike's just like, I don't know. He sounds a lot like Bill. Now, Bill is a little more blunt about it, but Mike is usually that very even keel, I'll give you my opinion, here it is, guy. And when you get Mike to go, I don't know. We haven't seen it. I don't know. It's like there's a lot of, as Bill said, I've got more questions or even the same amount of questions now as I did when I walked through training camp doors day one. There's still that many questions. So we'll talk to Mike about all of that when we come back. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there at The Nice Ash Cigar Bar, 323 West Main Street, downtown Waukesha. Again, reminding you, not open right now. And I hate to advertise for somebody that's not open, but they're telling you, people are coming to the door, pulling on the door, going, what the hell? They had water damage a while back. So they are not going to be open and probably till about 3 more weeks, maybe. They're getting it all aired out, making sure that everything's taken care of. There's going to be no mold, and that's a historic building. So they got to restore the building to the historical factors and facades that it had. So, and it wasn't because of the flooding in Waukesha. They had a boiler or a hot water heater blew up or broke or something on one of the apartments upstairs. So one of the upstairs apartments that was vacant, it blew out, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gallons of water went unchecked into the ceiling and then crashed down through. And so, man, it's a mess. And I've seen it a couple of times when I've been down there with the restoration people there trying to clean it up, but it'll be a little while. So just letting you know, for people that always want to go down and check out some great live music and maybe have a cigar and sit back and watch a game. Not just yet. It's on the way, but not just yet. But keep hanging in there. Keep checking out theniceash.com. Theniceash.com.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
The Seahawks holding what really could be considered their final training camp practice, a joint session with the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Anger, some of the tempers flaring after snap. Ernest Jones getting after it with tackle Zach Tom. And Tom later got booted out of practice when he and Devin Witherspoon got in it. Both Jones and Witherspoon threw a little bit of a haymaker in there.
Love it. Love it. Through the haymakers, brings team together. Going to go live to Green Bay momentarily. This portion of the program, Mike Clemens appearance. This go-round brought to you by our friends at Veterans America. Own the land you defend. The top VA lender for home buyers. Zero payments. Zero down payment, no PMI, looser credit requirements, all that kind of good stuff that they can help you out with. Thousands of possibilities, but you can't do anything if you don't call. Get a hold of our buddy James, 262-255-2000. That's 262-255-2000. Go to veteransamerica.com. That's veteransamerica.com. Joining us on the Schneider Big Orange hotline. Go to 800-44-PRIDE or SchneiderJobs.com to chat about some career possibilities. Our guy, Mike Clemens, joining us on the hotline. Michael, today, you got pugil sticks today, Mike? Are you going out and clubbing people or what's going on?
No, but I'll tell you, Bill, it was so cool. Man, it was so cool. I'll tell you. It was great. It was great. And I didn't think it was coming because, there's Mike McDonald flies in from Seattle with the guys. They came here. I saw him actually unloading the trucks and the buses and stuff Wednesday afternoon, setting up the visitors' locker room with the tape and everything like that, kind of walked through back there a little bit. And so then joint practice. And then LaFleur McDonald, they bring their two teams together for a pre-practice huddle. 100 or more players, all in this big circle, listen to these two coaches, and laying down the rules of engagement. I even tweeted that picture out. Mm-hmm. And then they went through the different drills. And Jordan Love, by the way, did not look real good. And I think in my live report from practice, I told you, LaFleur said, I'm not a big proponent of 7-on-7, but I got a starting quarterback with this thumb coming back from surgery. He's got a brace now on his left hand. I heard that he was going to have the stitches taken out now tomorrow, so he's making progress. But they just go, there's no lineman. It's just you've got your perimeter guys, your receivers, maybe a back going against some secondary, mm-hmm. And so he's going against Seattle, and man, Seattle had like 3 or 4 PBUs, and Jordan I think was only like 3 for 12 out of the 12 plays they had to run. That didn't look good. Then they separated and they had 11-on-11. Full football, and there's a big crowd there. Last day of training camp, last day open to the public for practice. Sam Darnold and his first team offense went down to the south end of the field, and I told you I wanted to start watching some defense, but I'm watching Malik Willis and the first team offense Packers going against Seattle, and I'm like, this is getting a little chippy. So I kind of stayed there for a little bit, and sure enough, maybe about 15 plays into it, you kept on seeing the whistles blown, play dead, Packers kind of going back to the huddle, but like guys on the defensive line from the Seahawks, like that TV announcer from Seattle was talking about, some of their guys like Ernest Jones, Derek Hall is one of their edge guys, pushing Devin Witherspoon as a corner, just jacking guys around after the whistle. And finally, Zach Tom said enough, and he pushes back, and then it's on. And so Zach Tom starts throwing haymakers. And they had 2 fights and then a fight after practice. And so Jordan Love was asked, was that one of the bigger camp fights you've ever witnessed?
Oh, yeah, that's one of the bigger ones. I think every time when you get both sidelines clearing, it's try your best to break it up and things like that. But it's going to happen, man. I don't know. There's no answer for it.
Do you like to see that fire from the guys?
Yeah, as a team, when things happen and you got guys throwing punches at another guy, that's the part of the team that you love to see. Guys got to have each other's back out there and go out there, and we're not going to let one of our guys just go out there and get beat up at all. So we're going to go out there and like you said, you hate to see it, but you love to see the team having each other's back, go out there fight for one another.
Which, Mike, that's what you were talking about when they were down in Indianapolis. You said, hey, they're going to keep it really cordial. The Colts want to be good hosts and yada, yada. But you thought you don't mind seeing one of these. I know the coaches want to break it up and they want to get their work in, but you don't mind seeing one of these when guys have each other's backs. It's kind of, you hate to say, it's almost like a team bonding thing,
Yeah, and folks, could you hear the noise in that locker room with Jordan Love? It's not like they were ashamed.
Right.
It's to what had just happened, man. So, it's Zach Tom, and he's throwing them. And then you see Tucker Kraft come running in there. And, both sidelines empty. What's funny is when you see assistant coaches flying in there to try and break this up, you see general managers with a lump in their throat because – they've spent millions of dollars on these players. They don't want to see some guy get a broken finger or a busted rib because that can happen when you got helmets and shoulder pads on. You're on the ground. There's dudes on the ground, and they're throwing.
Right.
They are throwing body punches. And there's even Christian Watson. Now, dude, what are you doing around over there? He's trying to come back from a torn ACL. I'm going to go out there and help my guys, too. So both sidelines empty. Meanwhile, while everyone's nervous, is one of these guys is going to get hurt. It's kind of like would you take your Lamborghini, your brand new Lamborghini, to the Slinger Speedway on Tuesday night? I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. So we went to Zach Tom, and so there was one fight, and then another couple of plays later, Anthony Belton, the second round pick.
I saw some video of him, and he was shoving some dudes around and had an assistant coach on him in one of the videos. And I thought, man, that guy's just throwing people around like a rag doll. I want to see him play.
6'6", 326 pounds. Yeah. He's throwing. And then when he finally got the rest of the practice in, and Jordan Love said, on the downside, we're on the clock here. Under the CBA, LaFleur and McDonald only got so much time, and we've got to get these snaps in. So we're going to lose some snaps because of these delays. So that's a frustrating part for a player like him. But then practice ends, and they have separate huddles. And I'm standing where I'm supposed to be on the sidelines, but the Seahawks Gatorade station is there. So I got these big Seahawks players coming by and taking off their helmet, taking off their shoulder pads, throwing their sweaty jersey into the bucket, and grabbing something to drink. And all of a sudden, here comes Elton Jenkins. Hey, he's coming for more after practice. And all of a sudden, the assistant coach is kind of go, oh, no. But, and that part I was able to tape. I taped that, and I posted that. But it's like these guys, want it from each other.
Yeah.
Zach Tom said, listen, what triggered all this was not the pushing and shoving after the whistle. He said, dude comes up into our hustle. He starts into our huddle and starts peeking in and interfering with our huddle. And here's what Zach Tom had to say.
Like, we were in the huddle and somebody in our huddle, like, it's already kind of disrespectful that they're in our huddle, and then somebody gets hit while we're in the huddle. Got to have some pride,
Yeah, and it's true. And like I said, I was between watching that and then Anthony Belton. I got to admit, Mike, it was probably the most exciting thing about this training camp thus far.
So try to diffuse. And keeping to your word, Matt LaFleur says to Zach Tom, the guy they just gave a big 4-year deal to, said, you're on the bench. You're done. You're out. Anthony Belton, rookie, you line up there at right tackle at number 71. Like 4 or 5 plays later, he's in there throwing. And so we said, when you get these big fights, is it kind of hard to get back into the routine of running plays?
Now you just keep going. because it's still more football to play. So you just got to, that happened, come with it, next play.
Come with it. Next, let's go. I love it. Mike, leadership-wise, you got on one side, you've got, guys like Josh Jacobs and company, Xavier McKinney, obviously nursing an injury right now. So you got other guys that are out there like Keyshawn Nixon and company. They're your leaders right now. Kenny Clark, like you had mentioned, Elton Jenkins, like you had mentioned. Those are your leaders. How do they kind of take all of this?
Well, they were in it, and mixing it up. And Tucker Kraft, to be sure. But I couldn't get it. I got such a kick out of Keyshawn Nixon. He's got that Cheshire grin, right? He's got his helmet off. And he's yelling at one of the dudes from the Seahawks when that third scuffle happened after practice and they're getting their Gatorade and stuff. And he goes, hey, and he calls out the guy's name and he looks and he smiles and he does his Michael Jackson grab. He's like right here.
He's got a crotch shot.
Yeah. So he said to Keyshawn, and listen to what he says here because he talks about, we didn't have this down in Indianapolis. They were kind of lame. And the other thing is, don't forget, if you want to blow off some steam and it's the last practice of training camp before you go to this third meaningless preseason game, it's like now's the time to take your shots because they don't fine you. They fine you for this during the game, right? They can't fine you in practice. So this is Keyshawn saying, how was your joint practice with the Seahawks compared to last week with the Colts?
It was chippy, but that's what comes with joint practice. It's always be like that. It was kind of weird for me last week because it wasn't like none of that in Indy, so it was kind of conservative for her. But it just come with the territory. Alphas going against alphas. It's in a practice setting, so no refs for real. Like the refs don't really matter. You can't really get fined and stuff like that. So you get a little chippy. That's just how it goes.
There you go. Love it. Let's do this. Don't go anywhere. We got more with Mike Clemens live in Green Bay discussing the Donniebrooks that broke out yesterday. We'll get a little bit deeper into it and some of the comments that Bill Huber had to say a little bit earlier from Sports Illustrated about the Packers as well. Mike is brought to you by the Bay Motel right there in Green Bay. Quiet, cozy, comfortable, just a mile from Lambeau Field. They've got all kinds of different good rates and availability right now. If you want to go for a game, you want to go up and just check out the Hall of Fame on a non-game day weekend. They also have the Bay Family Restaurant. And if you ever follow them on Facebook, they got some good stick to your ribs kind of meals and always looks delicious up there. And it's always served with a smile. That's our friends at the Bay Motel and Family Restaurant. Go to baymotelgreenbay.com. baymotelgreenbay.com. Call them direct. 920-494-3441. 920-494-3441. baymotelgreenbay.com.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
What's the message for your guys going out there today?
Same as it is every day, Bill. Compete to the best of your ability, give great effort, play physical, and get better.
Our guy Bill Huber, told you. Between him and Mike, man, those two guys could just cover the team and call it a day. There you have it. Hey, hope you never need an attorney, but if you do, let me know, because I'm actually going to be with Brent Iceburner at the Fisher House Golf Outing on Monday. And Brent, obviously on the board of directors of Fisher House. I've worked with him for a few years, but also with Levine Iceburner. And if you're looking for somebody that actually answers the phone and actually goes to court and has the relationship with you and not just a figurehead, get a hold of Levine Iceburner at 608-621-2888, whether it's personal injury, hopefully it's not criminal, estate planning, civil litigation, contracts, all that kind of stuff. 608-621-2888. 608-621-2888. They're the people that actually answer the phones. Levine Iceburner. Joining us on the hotline, back at it again, Mike Clemens from up in Green Bay. And so, Mike, obviously there was fun and frivolity from yesterday that we got a chance to witness. And, now you kind of focus on the season as it starts to approach, the NFL, some of the changes they're making, some things they're talking about. They're looking at guys standing over guys and touchdown celebrations and all that kind of different stuff.
Yeah, so the NFL referees tour to all the teams in the NFL during training camp to check in, to talk about any rule changes made in the spring, the NFL owners meetings, ask any questions that the coaches have, the players have, etc. And you got a Green Bay Packers team. And, of course, these guys look at the schedule and they say, oh, okay, look, Seattle and Green Bay are going to be there for joint practices. Let's go to Green Bay that weekend because we can talk to two teams with one stop. The Packers had 11 penalties in the first half against the Colts last weekend. And, your second-round pick, Anthony Belton, your backup tackle, he had 5 in the first half. A couple of formation penalties, and that's where this rookie kid is lining up next to a guard who there was like Jacob Monk, and if the guard makes a mistake, then he makes a mistake, and they're going to throw the flag on you. And it's the tackle who gets it, not necessarily the guard. It's the tackle who gets called for the illegal formation. Or what about the holding calls? You're 6'6" and 326, and your whole life you've been pushing people around. When you're in the NFL, it's got to be technique. And you got to hold off these NFL defensive linemen just the right way. You got to put those hands in the sternum. You got to set your feet so you can have leverage. These are the techniques you need to learn to survive in the NFL. You can't just get by with physicality. And I talked to Anthony about that, and he knows that. So I said to Brad Rodgers, who is the head NFL guy who'll be officiating tomorrow's game with his crew, he brought him in, and they were out there in the field. I said, so talk about Belton. I said, can a kid like that get some help from you guys during the game? He says, absolutely. That's what we got, those 2-minute TV timeouts. Come over and talk to us about that. Or pregame. He said, guys like Aaron Rodgers, they would come and talk to these referees all the time just about, so how's your life?
Right.
But just to sort of lay that foundation. And one of the other things that they're stressing, the one real change that they got going on is with the kickoff, in this crazy formation they've had for safety for kickoffs now. They changed that when the kicker kicks the ball on a kickoff into the landing zone, and that's between the 20-yard line and the goal line. Got to drop the ball in there. If it's out of there, then it's a touchback at the 30. Now they've moved it up to the 35 because they think then that will make kickers, more likely to put that ball in the landing zone rather than kick it out. And because they want to see returns, they just want to try and make them more safer. So that'll be the only real change like that. So then I said, okay, so besides the kickoffs now, I said, let me ask this. Where do you guys stand on touchdown celebrations? They got the Lambeau Leap here, right. But, players that are dancing in the end zone, where do you guys stand on that?
The thing about celebrations, I think it's such a good part of the game because it does bring back that fan atmosphere, excitement. You guys celebrate touchdowns pretty well here. And so whenever that happens, after a score, the play clock starts at the 40-second mark. It immediately starts when we signal. And so you've got time there to do your celebration, but that play clock is running. And so teams have gotten really good at knowing how to choreograph their dances or what have you that they do. And then if they're staying out there to play that particular point after try, they're getting there pretty well. First couple of years, players are like, oh, I've got to quit dancing and get over here. We encourage excitement. The league wants to encourage that.
I've always said, Mike, if you have a celebration of any type, I don't care if it's a touchdown, interception, sack, whatever. If you're doing it with your team, no big deal. If you're taunting in any direction towards your opponent, that's when they take offense to that because that leads to the fights, the chippiness, the whole thing, and they don't want to have that.
Yeah. Or, arguments. Quay Walker got kicked out of a game because of some words that he said beyond the sideline, maybe an opposing team. It's just like, so taunting. To me, that's kind of a gray area kind of a thing for these guys to call, very much a judgmental call. And how about defense? It's one thing that they say, oh, yeah, we love for these teams to celebrate touchdowns, just, do your little dance. But remember, I've started the 40-second clock, so you got to get your PAT team out there before that expires or you're going to get a delay a game. But if you get a pick, an interception, if you get a big hit, a linebacker just drills a guy, when do you guys make the decision on taunting?
The thing about celebrations is do it with your teammates. Do it together. Taunting is something you see almost in that spontaneous activity after a play, a big hit. We don't want to see players walking over the top of another player. We don't want to see players showing other players up. You make a big, legal, hard hit, that's encouraged. And go celebrate that with your teammates. But not do it in a way that disparages your opponent.
So, Mike, which I understand all of that. I'm going to go back to some of the things that we talked about with Bill Huber. One thing was very specific, that Matthew Golden, he's like, look, I don't want to be hyperbole. I don't want to go over the top, but this guy looks phenomenal. And you don't want to oversell it because you just want to let it play out. But for all intents and purposes, he looks phenomenal right now.
Yeah, I think he's had the best camp of 91 players on the field this camp. I can safely say now, reminds me of Greg Jennings. Just walks in, looks like he's been here, a couple of years already. And, I've got a little list here for you because I know that you and Bill were talking about some of these battles they're going to have on the corners. Mm-hmm. I think offensive line is settled. I don't think that Jordan Morgan's going to steal the left tackle job. I think it'll be Rasheed Walker and, Sean Ryan at right guard. Zach Tom, he's just paid to play right tackle. Elton Jenkins moves into center. Aaron Banks has been out with a back injury, but that's your starting five. And so you've got your first-round pick from last year as your number one replacement guy, and you're doing pretty good. And then you got Big Belton after that. That's a pretty good, starting seven. That's a big improvement over what you had last year. Anthony Belton, number two pick this year, he's fine. Savion Williams, he's had a shoulder injury, but looking good at wide receiver. Baron Sorrell, he's had a knee injury, and he's probably going to miss the Colts game. The fifth-round pick was Colin Oliver. He's missed all of camp with a foot injury. He'll be on the PUP. Warren Brinson is a defensive tackle. I think he'll make the cut and get in there. Micah Robinson, he might be on the bubble at corner. And then John Williams, he's definitely out. He's on the PUP with a back injury. So out of the 8 guys you drafted, 2 of them are definitely going to play in the Lions game. 2 of them will dress but be backups. So that means, you had 2 out of 8 guys that you had in your draft that are going to be players right away. And the best one is Matthew Golden. And I said to him, so when I watch you, like they ran him in a jet sweep yesterday, the timing's got to be right there. You got to get behind that quarterback after the snap right on time. I said, how do you work on that timing? Is that like during the walkthroughs?
Definitely the walkthroughs that we do. I feel like whenever we do those, it obviously help me line up, just getting that timing down with the quarterback, knowing what I need to do, and, just getting the small things right. So when we go out there and we're playing fast, it's a lot more smoother for us.
Real quick, Mike, because we're going to go to break, and I want to get back to it because you told me that you're going to have an Aaron Rodgers story for us today. So I want to get into that, and I want to leave time for that. But when I asked Bill Huber, I said, what is the helicopter view? And Bill went, it sounded a lot like you. And he went, I've got as many, if not more questions now than I did at the beginning of training camp. Are you feeling the same?
Yeah, and it's kind of like the analogy I gave you or maybe Grant on his afternoon show about a week ago. It's like I'm standing out there every day. I see all this talent. It reminds me like American Idol or some. It's like I see all these great singers. Okay, that's a bass singer. That's a good soprano over there. But I've been here now for 3-4 weeks, 17, 18, 19 practices. I still haven't heard one song complete.
Right.
I still haven't really see, back-to-back good-looking series. Like say, all right, yeah, we'll be ready for the Lions in 2 weeks. Haven't seen it yet. Okay.
Mike, let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. I want the Aaron Rodgers stories when we return. I'm going to hold you to it. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The roll screen, the ability to roll a window screen up and down like a shade. Pella invested in this breakthrough when the business was born and has introduced the world to innovative, game-changing designs ever since. Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Our incredible craftsmen have always been driven by the principles of traditional American values and the desire to enrich the homes and lives of others. They've been at it for a century. When you want long-lasting comfort and reliability, we make it easy for you to trust Pella. Every piece is specifically constructed for you and your home. Pella always designs with innovation and rigorously tests each product for quality and performance. Our team takes pride in constructing quality windows and doors with meticulous attention to every detail. Investing in new Pella windows and doors creates long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years. And if you order by August 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
I can't stand the helmet. I've worn a shirt for 20 years, and somehow it finally didn't pass the safety standards.
Looks like a damn spaceship out there.
Ground control to Major Tom.
Spaceship.
Ground control to Major Tom.
What we know about Aaron Rodgers and his belief in certain things, the space helmet might be the perfect fit, I guess. But our guy Mike Clemens joining us in Green Bay. Aaron's still making the news, not liking the helmets that they are being told they have to wear now for safety concerns. Michael, so I don't. How much does this affect the quarterback? I guess I don't know. Right?
It's Aaron. It's just, why does it always have to be so complicated? As
right.
Avril Lavigne sang some 25 years ago.
Yes.
I wanted to just tell you this story because I think I've talked a little bit in parts of it. It's probably one of my favorite stories, and it's one of the ones that kind of points out what I do for you on this show, on reporting on this team for Packer fans in Wisconsin and around the Midwest, and also trying to understand maybe why Aaron never quite got back into a second Super Bowl. So, by the way, when you're at these practices, even though you saw all those videos yesterday of the camp fights, Matt LaFleur doesn't want that stuff out there. Mm-hmm. Yesterday he said, I'm kind of getting over it now. I understand the part of it. Do you know, I was talking to one of the Seattle guys. If you went to a Seahawks training camp practice, they confiscate your cell phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
They can still, folks still got their cell phones and they're taking pictures of camp fights. There's one guy that's posted plays up there though yesterday. Now I'm sensitive to that. I don't want to interfere with a team or a game or something like that as a reporter. Right. So the Packers are in London and they're playing a struggling but new Giants team with Brian Daboll as their head coach, and he's got them fiery and throwing around. And now you're down to the fourth quarter and the Packers are down 27-20. But Aaron Rodgers gets the ball with about 3 or 4 minutes left to play. He drives down the field. He gets into the red zone. And he throws a ball to the left to Randall Cobb. He hits the helmet of a rookie linebacker. Now it's 4th and 1. So he's there in shotgun, and he does that thing where he used to always do, where he kind of straightens out his shirt a little bit. He picks up a little bit of pinching his right shoulder shirt. And his ball snapped. He takes the ball. He's going to throw it to Alan Lazard in the corner for a touchdown. And the safety shoots in and puts his hand up and blocks the ball. And Mark Sanchez is doing the game for the NFL Network, the butt fumble quarterback, right? Yeah. And he goes, wait a minute, let's back that up. He goes, look, it's almost like the safety knew where the play was going to go. See, look at what Aaron Rodgers is doing. And he circles it with his red teleprompter pen or whatever they call it. Yeah. He said, that's the signal. See, he's picking up his shirt. I'm like, how does Mark Sanchez know that? He's not watching that tape. I'm thinking, I'm just guessing. I think I told you this off the air. I said, I'll bet you Wink Martindale, their great defensive coordinator, he come up from the Ravens. He probably told that in the production meeting, right? Yeah. Fast forward to when they get back from London, and I see Lazard in the locker room about a week or two, I said, I told him that story. I said, Mark Sanchez pointed that out. Is that really a signal? And his jaw dropped, Bill. Lazard's jaw, he goes, All right, thank you for telling me that. And I'm thinking he's going to take that into a meeting and tell Rodgers, hey, dude, you can't do that anymore.
Right.
Mark Sanchez can pick that up from the booth. A few weeks later, they play the Lions. Aaron Rodgers is at the line, and he snaps the ball, and Sammy Watkins, one of those veterans they brought in for him, he runs a little slant. He's got one guy on him, but Aaron's throwing the ball to an empty end zone in the corner. Game over. They lose in this stinking game 15-9 to the Detroit Lions.
Right.
So about a week or two after that, Sammy Watkins, who tended to talk to reporters, bare-chested there, he was a good guy, easy to talk to. We'd say, hey, what happened on that missed touchdown? I mean, Aaron threw to an empty end zone, and you're over there over the middle. And he goes, I missed the signal, man. And he pinched his shoulder. I'm like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I mean, I told Lazard,
right.
They're onto you with this thing, man. And this is when that story came out. Aaron Rodgers, he's got his 30 different signals at the line that you've got to learn as wide receiver. Versace was even teasing about him. On Tuesday, I had a little conversation with a now current Packer player, and I talked about that play, and I said, did you know that play? He says, this is the signal. He pinched his shoulder. He said, yeah, Wink Martindale found that for us. You know who it was? Xavier McKinney.
Really?
He's the one that made the play. He saw Rodgers pinch his shoulder. He knew the play was going to Lazard, and he blitzed and blocked the ball, and they won the game.
Wow. There you go. How it all comes full circle and back to the Green Bay Packers. I like it. See, that's the in-depth stuff, Mike, that only you can bring. And I love that kind of stuff. That's a good story right there. I like that.
That's the way, that's just, and Xavier was laughing.
Yeah.
He told me this. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. No, Wink told us about that. I'm like, yes, see? I mean, I got to sort of put the pieces of the puzzle together, but come on, man.
Come on. That is awesome. Mike, we'll talk again in depth on Monday is after because then we're talking about cutdowns. We'll talk about how this team is going to be shaped because 4 days away from cutdown day. And then after that, it's all Detroit all the time. So enjoy the weekend. We'll talk again on Monday.
Thank you, Billy.
All right, my brother. There you go. That's our guy, Mike Clemens. That guy is just, I told you yesterday, man. I think he bought a bunch of brown leather when they rebuilt that locker room. And he dresses as a couch. And he sits in there and waits for everybody to leave and then waits for a player or two to sit on him. And then he starts talking to him. And that's how he finds his stuff out. Mike is the mole, man. He is the mole. 2 hours down, 2 hours yet to go. Do not go anywhere. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers are back home after an 8-game road trip that saw them go 4-4. It left them as the first team to 80 wins this year and gave them a 7-game lead in the NL Central on the Cubs. The crew has gotten it done in different ways, but that's what makes the team what they are, according to outfielder Isaac Collins.
It's just what got us here. I said that scratch and claw mentality and just staying true to ourselves. I feel like sometimes when success comes your way, you kind of forget what got you there. So I think down the stretch here, it's going to be huge for us to just continue to take it one day at a time and just be the best version of ourselves every day.
Tonight, Brewers going to open up a series against the Giants at American Family Field. Jose Quintana will get the ball from Milwaukee. Comes in 10-4 with a 3.32 ERA, giving up a total of 2 earned runs over his last 2 starts. Giants will counter with Carson Wisenhunt. He's 1-1 with a 5.02 ERA. It'll be just the 4th start of the rookie's career. San Francisco has lost 10 of the last 12 games. First pitch is set for 7:10.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Rural Mutual is the #1 farm insurer in Wisconsin for a good reason. As a company founded by farmers, they understand the ag industry and its challenges. Local agents offer farm families the best advice and personalized coverage. Visit ruralmutual.com to find an agent near you.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Well, it's an off day from practice for the Packers. They're getting ready to face the Seahawks in the final preseason game tomorrow. Kick is at 3 at Lambeau Field. Then the focus will shift to paring down the roster to get to that 53-man roster limit by Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Turning to the Badgers, they are less than a week out from the start of their season. They'll face Miami, Ohio next Thursday night at Camp Randall Stadium. Kick is at 8. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Welcome in on a Friday. You, me, Evo. Got Steve Zautke coming up in a little bit. Going to talk a little IndyCar racing out the Milwaukee Mile. And I don't know what else after that. I don't know. I know the Brewers get a win yesterday. They leave Chicago back at it at American Family Field with the Giants coming up later on this evening, only losing a game in Chicago. For all the anxiety, there's still 7 games up. Take it easy. We're all good. Everything's good. Everything's right with the world. We just heard from Mike Clemens for the last 45 minutes. And, man, some great stuff from Mike. Also, Bill Huber from a little bit earlier today. We're going to hear from him later on in the program. And I had mentioned that this weekend you got all kinds of stuff. You got high school football is back, too. It's pretty cool when you get a chance to drive across the state and you start listening to all the smaller, and I don't mean to degrade it anyway, but the smaller hometown stations, and they're all talking about high school football and who to watch out for and the matchups coming. And so I was listening to a little bit of that as I was driving over to La Crosse last night and heading there for the cigar dinner yesterday. So got football. High school football is back tonight. A lot of schools opening up. Some for the junior varsities and such opened up yesterday, but nevertheless, big night tonight for high school football in the area as well. If you're heading out to any of that, enjoy yourself. If you're heading to the Brewers game, enjoy yourself. We got Packers football tomorrow at 3 o'clock at Lambeau Field. So a whole lot of good stuff happening. And don't forget, like I mentioned, you got the IndyCar series coming into the Milwaukee Mile this weekend as well. You want to chime in? 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Text us 608-321-1670, 608-321-1670. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show, youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. Find us on Twitter, on X, at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. Ebo's over at Ebo Says, at Ebo Says. And you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, on the Twitch app, the Kick app, and the LinkedIn app as well under the Bill Michaels Show. The email is thebillmichaels@gmail.com. The website simply thebillmichaels.com. There's the app, WOZN, the Zone Madison, which is is it now Wisco Sports Zone? Did they change the app?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
It's now called the Wisco Sports Zone. Wisco Sports Zone. There you go. Go find us on Wisco Sports Zone, and then Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts after the fact. And then don't forget, we are a television show on Saturday night, 8 o'clock Central Time on My 24 TV. That is My 24 TV.
Hey, last week, JFK, Josh the Fat Kid. Did you know that's why his name is Josh JFK?
I knew it was JFK. I did not know.
Josh the Fat Kid.
I had no idea.
But he had messaged me because I forgot that you that he was pulling segments last week because I was filling in for Grant. I had that Marlboro hat on.
Yes.
And JFK's like, dude, cool hat, but you really screwed me over here. Like, what do you mean? He's like, when's the last time you saw a smoking advertisement on TV? I'm like,
oh, that's right. Yeah, you can't.
He's like, he had to blur my Marlboro Reds, my Marlboro off my hat.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Show. Well, I'm like, just put Bill's face on it.
It was
People
an
love
old
Bill
shout out to the Winston Cup days or something like that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I'm like, why do you got to do that? He's like, when's the last time you see anyone advertise cigarettes on TV?
Right.
Last I remember, I don't even remember cigarette ads on TV.
Because it's like liquor ads and cigar ads. I actually had a cigar dinner, and I put on the advertisement on social media, cigar dinner, and I was immediately banned for selling tobacco on social media. I just never dawned on me. So now you have to have a bourbon, whatever steak smoker dinner or something to that effect, and you can't advertise it. And I was, so I learned that too. So yeah, I forgot about that. The Marlboro hat.
Take me back to Joe Camel and magazines and billboards and
remember that? Time. Yeah. You can't even do that anymore.
Joe Camel, probably the coolest mascot ever. Joe Camel was the man.
Joe Camel, yeah, the best mascot advertisers, Joe Camel, Spuds McKenzie.
Yeah.
Spuds McKenzie. Budweiser had a lot. Remember the Budweiser frogs and lizards?
Yeah.
They had a couple of good ones there.
Those were good.
Back in the day, Snoopy was on everything.
Yeah. Rocky Rococo was one of my favorite. I would have loved the party with Rocky Rococo, the actual dude.
Yeah. He looked like he smoked cigars. He looked like he had pizza, he had some wine, and then he smoked cigars.
He partied.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
I wish I met him a couple times. Awesome dude.
Really?
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome guy. He was in JJO, our sister station, cutting ads and stuff. Awesome dude. I wish I could have partied with him though.
Was he from here?
Yes, yeah, around here. Yeah.
Really? I had no idea. I had
Awesome
no
dude.
idea because I'll see them. My assumption is I've seen them in other areas in Wisconsin. So I guess I
forget more. It's a Madison thing. I don't.
Is it?
Do you guys have any in Milwaukee?
Yeah, I got one right up the street from me.
Oh, okay. I'm going to Milwaukee tomorrow, by the way, Bill. Jen, my wife, had said she wanted to do Bloody Mary and brunch in Milwaukee tomorrow, and I'm trying to get to Calderon Club, dude. I'm trying to get over there for some dinner
next weekend.
No, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh, you're coming. Oh, so you're coming to town tomorrow. So where are you going to Bloody Mary's and brunch?
Wherever the missus picks. I don't know.
The award.
She may have told me, but I zoned out.
The award-winning Bloody Mary's. I mean, if you seriously is Stenny's. One of our sponsors.
Yes.
There's one out here in Lake Country by me, or if you're going downtown, there's Second and National down at Walker's Point. I'm telling you, you'll rate it highly.
I will tell you know how Jen is though. She's pretty strong-willed.
Yeah.
So I'll let her know. But I've got to get to Calderon Club too. I've got to sit in the Bill Michaels corner. Dude.
Okay. But we've got the whole group. What I was going to say was the whole group from New York, like hardcore. You can tell they're from New York when they open their mouth. They don't even tell you where they're from. Of Rolling Thunder and one dog, one soldier, one team. The charity is coming, and I'm giving my house up next weekend. They're staying here. And because they want to volunteer for our ride, they believe in our foundation, and so they're all coming here. There's I think 4 couples, and they're all coming here. And they called and they said, hey, we're coming to town. And I said, no problem. You got the house. As a matter of fact, I got them a box of cigars. I got them a really special bottle of Woodford Reserve through the Quick Spirits group, and I got them all set up with Kringles. So they said, what do you want us to bring? And I said, well, Italian food doesn't travel. And he stopped me. He said, look, there's a difference to East Coast and Midwest Italian food. You can taste it. There's an acidic versus a sweetness. I said, I get that. He said, we're coming there because we want to go to Calderon Club. The charity, the whole thing, they want to be a part of it. But he's like, we're going to Calderon Club on Saturday night, right? I said, I got a reservation for 10. We're all good to go. So
that is the best.
That's all they want to do is go there.
Because I think it was last year I went because you had told me about it.
Yeah.
And wow, unbelievable, dude. I've been thinking about it like every day ever since.
If you go tomorrow, we have nothing planned. So
I'll let you know.
Go tomorrow night, let me know. We'll meet you down there.
Yeah. But you know how Jen is, though. She's very strong-willed.
I've never met Jen.
No, you met her one time, Bill.
Was that out in Madison at
Quaker Steak and Lube a long time ago?
Yes. And
we were partying a a bit.
She blew me off.
She blew me off. Big time.
Yeah.
She's like, get out of my way. Don't care.
Yeah. I do remember that. Yeah.
You're like, whoa, what was that?
Yeah. That was right out. She should have wore a shirt that just says shut your hole.
She pretty much told you to go sit down, sit in the corner.
That was it. Yeah. I do remember that.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. I think it was like 2013 or 2014. Something like that.
So yeah. I do remember that. But yeah, if you
go F yourself, essentially is what she said.
If you want to go down there tomorrow night, we'll meet you. Hell yeah.
I'll let you know because I'm definitely trying to get there. I'll let you know.
Okay, keep that in mind. So
we'll see if she stays around for dinner though. Like, hey, Bill's coming.
Is there like a special occasion? You just coming to Milwaukee? Just come to Milwaukee?
We just wanted to get out of Madison.
Okay,
yeah,
I got you.
Get out of Dane County for a bit.
Okay. Well, I can give you a whole list of places to go and things to do. I'm sure she's got stuff, but man, if you go to the Third Ward Beer Garden, which is not far from downtown Stenny's, which is a great outdoor green space where you can just drink, local brews and kind of sit outside and hang out. And then up and down that whole Third Ward area, you can walk around. They got the Clemens Hotel, which is the rooftop bar that overlooks the city. So there's a lot of good stuff.
Hey, let me ask you, with Mike Clemens just on, and Bill Huber on earlier. Bill Huber, I don't want to say doom and gloom, but it was very alarming to me of like how he viewed the Packers. Mike kind of brought me at ease a little bit, I guess. Which one do you side with a little more here, Huber or Clemens?
I think they said the same thing without saying the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Mike said, look, Matthew Golden, tremendous camp, the best camp so far. Bill agreed. Didn't want hyperbole, but agreed. He talked about Edrin Cooper jumping off the page at you. Mike talked about, who's making this team, who's not. Mike went through it and said, hey, look, out of your, what did he say, 8 draft choices, 2 of them are going to play, 2 are going to be backups, and the other 4, you don't really know. They're either banged up or not even going to make the team. And then he talked about, some of the guys in the trenches, obviously having the solidification on the offensive line. But I think when Mike stopped short was, again, sometimes it's what's not discussed, is he didn't really go too high defensively speaking and say, hey, the defense didn't look good against Sam Darnold, who torched him last year. So, but I also think, as he said, Bill, we don't have enough to go on.
Yeah.
We haven't seen enough. So I think maybe they get more after it, obviously after this game coming up this weekend, because this is really the last chance for some of these guys in the back end of the line of the roster to make the roster. So that's kind of what you're looking for. You're evaluating that this weekend, and then we'll know more come Tuesday when they have cutdown day. But they said the same thing without saying the exact same thing. But Mike said the same thing when I asked him about question marks. He's like, yeah, I'm right there with you.
What do you think,
there's still a lot of question marks.
What do you think record-wise, right? Hearing those 2 guys today, if you're asking your gut, tells you how many wins.
I'm going to stick with 10, 11 wins. And so I've gone through this a couple of times, because if you look, the defense itself supposedly has gotten better. Edrin Cooper got better. Van Ness is getting better. Rashawn Gary's having a good camp. They got beefier up front. The only thing that changed was you don't have Jair. You bring in Nate Hobbs, who's more of a hitter, for Jair, who was more of a finesse downfield speed guy. And he didn't even play last year for the most part. And they were a top 10 defense in a lot of categorical statistics. So not much changed. I don't have a problem with the defense. To me, that's why I asked Bill Huber, does this offense have the ability to be unbelievable? And he said, yeah. And he said what everybody has said is, if it's all rests on Jordan Love. If Jordan Love looks good and plays the way he did a couple of years ago, because we've all seen him do it, then yeah, this thing is going to be unbelievable. If it's not, then it's not. It'll be a mediocre team. It all rests on the quarterback, to me. And I go back to what Greg Cosell said, what Brian Billick said, people we've talked to through, like Mike Renner, Mark Schofield from SB Nation. When we talk to him, all these people say basically the same thing, that it's up to Jordan Love to mechanically go away and get right, to be able to have his feet under him. And then obviously the injury has hindered him a little bit, the thumb injury and the surgery, but it all rests on Jordan Love. And if Jordan Love is the Jordan Love that we saw in the second half of his first year under center, then I think this team can end up with 12 or 13 wins. And if it's not, then this team could be 8, 9, 10 wins. But I think it's really, that's what it comes down to. And that's the reason I think you can talk about all the position players and everything you want who may or may not make the team. And you've got some nagging injuries and you haven't been able to see guys. That's been part of the problem.
Yeah.
You bring in Banks, and then Banks has the injuries and he hasn't really been playing much. So you don't get a chance to see him. And Zach Tom's talking about chemistry, and they've been moving guys around, and you haven't seen Rasheed Walker because he had the groin injury and he's trying to come back, and Jordan Morgan's going to be your backup. And then after that, you've got your new guy in Belton. And so, you've got some depth there, but then your Marshawn Lloyd was going to be your 2 in the 1-2 punch. And then he goes down with the hamstring injury, and now he's not there. And then Jaden Reed's been banged up. Romeo Dobbs has been banged up. All these guys you're relying on, nobody knows because you haven't seen them all together.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why you look at it and go, I think they're going to be good, but we haven't seen it all together. We don't know how much better they are than what they were last year. And to me, it doesn't matter if you don't have Jordan Love being the best version of Jordan Love you can be. So I get why there's a lot of question marks and consternation, But and again, I go back to the importance of getting off to the fast start. You got to win against Detroit. You got to come out and show everybody that, yeah, you're a lot better football team and a team to be reckoned with. And that's, I've circled, there's a couple of games that I circled throughout the season. That's one of them. Baltimore at home is one of them because you're going to probably need that game. You're going to need one of those games. Baltimore at home, the Bears on the road, Detroit on the road, the Vikings on the road. You got to get those games, or at least split with those teams to get 3 wins in the division. If you split the division, it's not terrible. It's not what you want to do, but at least you split the division. You pick up a couple of wins, and that may better you along the way. I also circle the game like going into Pittsburgh. You know, do you play tight because you're going up against Aaron Rodgers, or you just go in there and play your game? You know, and so I want to see that. So I there's a lot of like moments in this season that I'm looking for. But number one is if you get off to a slow start, you lose your first 2, holy crap. Then you've got a big, big mountain to climb to get yourself to 10, 11 wins.
Tough games too.
Yeah, not easy. They got a hell of a schedule. So yeah. We'll go ahead and take a quick break. We'll come back. We got a lot more to get to. This portion of it brought to you by our friends over there, the famous Wheeler Dealer, baby. Suburban Harley-Davidson. They are the landing spot. We are a week from Sunday away from the 18th annual Big Unit Poker Run. We teamed up this year, kind of getting back to our roots. And the people from Suburban Harley-Davidson came to us and said, hey, we want you to be a part of this. And so I said, okay, let's do this. So that's the landing spot. That's where it's going to be. They're going to be open. They're going to have vendors. They're going to have food trucks. We're going to have Six Pack Sammy's the band playing over there, all at Suburban Harley-Davidson, the final stop for this year's 18th annual Big Unit Poker Run. And if you're not on a bike yet, or maybe your bike isn't running right and you need some service, go get it done. Or if you just need a bike and you want to trade in, trade up, go get one. Or a brand new one. You can do that too. They still have plenty in stock over there. Go to suburbanharley.com. That is suburbanharley.com on Main Street in Thiensville, Wisconsin. Also, don't forget about Bike Night at Wayne's Drive-In at 5 Corners up there in Cedarburg. I'll be there this coming Tuesday night, speaking to the whole group about our motorcycle ride, trying to get more and more people signed up. Their whole hog chapter is going to be helping out and volunteering for parking at the end of the ride. So we say thanks to them. But Suburban Harley-Davidson, they got it all going on. Go to suburbanharley.com.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome in to a Michael Show. Continuing on, always glad you hang out with us and give us that opportunity. So we certainly appreciate you being here. This portion of it brought to you by our friends at Marquardt RV. We still got some events with the RV going out this year. A lot of traveling this summer, which has been fantastic. We've got Marquardt gave us the RV, and we ended up auctioning a trip off to Lambeau. And that's going to come up with the first game of the year. We're going to be at Burkle. We're back at Burkle's again this year, by the way, Burkle Sports Bar for the Green and Gold postgame show. But we're taking a group that helped out veterans and Big Unit Foundation to the tune of about $10,000. And they get a big tailgate party and everything. So we're going to be up at Burkle's, and come on by and say hi. I'm not going to be standing there the entire time, but the people that come with us certainly will be a part of it. And Kristen's going to be there doing all the cooking and all that kind of good stuff. But Marquardt RV, whether you're looking for a new RV, a travel trailer, a fifth wheel, whatever it happens to be, or you're looking for a big, beautiful motor coach like the one that we have from Thor or Tiffin Motor Homes, Winnebago, they've got something for everybody, but they pride themselves on service before, during, and after, specifically during and after, when it comes to making sure that everything, you're knowledgeable on how everything works, and everything works right. And if it doesn't, they want to make sure it's taken care of right away. So that way you can enjoy your best life. And that's our friends at Marquardt RV. They have locations all over the great state of Wisconsin. Go to Marquardt, M-A-R-K-Q-U-A-R-T, MarquardtRV.com. That is MarquardtRV.com. A couple of locations over in Minnesota as well. Again, Marquardt, M-A-R-K-Q-U-A-R-T, MarquardtRV.com. That's MarquardtRV.com. David says, listening this week has made me less hopeful every day for the upcoming Packer season overall. The theme has been dark and more negative than positive, starting to wonder if they will win 5 games based upon the guests and overall talk. They'll win more than 5 games. They'll win more than 5 games, of course. Here's the synopsis of that, David. We live it, eat it, breathe it, see it every day. We hear from inside the locker room every day. We hear from the people that are there every day. Okay? So it's scrutinized more here in our own backyard every day. And when your thought is Super Bowl or bust, and you can see certain things that could be considered flaws. And again, this is the reason I tell people when they ask me about preseason, I say all the time, and I use this as an example. It is like a pitcher that gets shelled, okay, in spring training. One of your starters, you're like, oh my God, this guy's not having a good spring. All you're trying to do is hit your mark. You know, if you want to work down and in to hitters more often this season with movement on your slider or your swerve or whatever the hell they're calling it today, then that's what you're working on, you know? So you're throwing it consistently, and guys know that, so they tee off on it, you know? You're trying just to get your fastball up and in, get it right into the corner of that strike zone, you know? Be able to go from corner to corner, you know? Be able to work a guy up and in, then all of a sudden low and away. If you've got a new pitch you're working on, and you want to work on a big slider, and you're just throwing it different. You're throwing it different, you know, so you got to work on that. You may not be good. You're not putting it in the strike zone. Guys are taking walks. But by the time you get to the regular season, then you're concentrating on the hitter in front of you. You're concentrating on what their strengths and weaknesses are, all the scouting reports. And that's when you're pitching for real. That's what preseason is. You're trying to win your one-on-one battle, first and foremost. Secondly, you're trying to be whatever it is you need to be even better. If you're a wide receiver, you're trying to get open. You're trying to make sure you don't have drops. You're trying to have your ball concentration. And then you're looking for catch and run. That's it, catch and run. Where if you're a guy coming off the edge, you're trying to work on your hands. You're trying to work on your footwork. You're trying to look on angles, just reacquaint yourself, get the muscle memory for, taking a hit, whatever. Same thing with running backs, where you're also looking for hop steps and things like that, and making sure that you're strong and your legs aren't weak. And so preseason to me is, if you go back and look at the history of teams that won Super Bowls, there's a good majority of them that maybe won one game in the preseason. It doesn't matter. You're just working on certain things. And in addition to that, you're only seeing starters play a few series. What they're doing is getting the reps behind closed doors or out there in front of the public. That's what matters, is what the coaches are seeing and how they're when they get behind closed doors and whatever they're doing that is part of their game plan and secretive stuff, getting ready for their next opponent. That's what they're paying attention to. Whereas out in the public, you're just trying to go through your drills correctly. So, yeah, it leaves a lot of questions because you don't know. You don't know if a guy has improved a lot, a little. If you see Lucas Van Ness busting up on people, like Bill Huber said, he can't touch the guys in the red jerseys. You're taught to just run upfield and run away. So you haven't seen if he's got the ability to really shove a guy to the side on an under move or a good hard swim move and push him over and then come in and just monster hit a quarterback. You haven't seen that. So I don't know. I don't know. It sounds like gloom and doom, but there's a lot of question marks right now because you just don't know. Hopefully that explains it. Or at least gives you a little more optimism. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Kenny from Kenosha. He said they would like the opinion on Malik Willis versus Jordan Love. Coming out of the college, Malik Willis was projected to be a first-round talent. Jordan Love, round 1, possible round 2. That being said, if given the chance, do you think that Matt LaFleur's offense, do you believe he could be better, a better quarterback, Malik Willis, than Jordan Love? And with that, the Packers probably would not give him the opportunity to be in competition with Love because of the money that they've already spent with Love. Malik Willis has had an opportunity. He's performed extremely well. If, knock on wood, hopefully he doesn't, but if he has a chance to do it again this year and goes out and shows his wares, maybe he ends up finding himself being an acquired position somewhere in another team to get himself a chance as another starter. But the decision was made. They're sticking with Love. I put it this way, Kenny, I don't know. I know Malik Willis at first against Tennessee, they're like, look, we're going to run the football. We're not going to have you do too much. We're not going to put the ball in your hands. We're not going to have you go through downfield progressions. None of that. You're into this thing new. We're going to run the football. Use Josh Jacobs. Do what we can. Run it down their throats. Win the game. That's what they did. Indianapolis, they opened it up a little bit more. You saw the touch pass and a few things that he did extremely well, but it was a very small sample size. And 2 wins. So you fall in love with that going, he hasn't lost. We got to go with that guy. Whereas Jordan Love, we've seen flashes of excellence, of Rodgers-esque excellence. Now, we saw it in a briefer period of time. And then the injuries took over last year. And I keep telling people, don't judge Jordan Love specifically off of everything you saw last year. Because remember, there was a whole lot of good behind it. And there was a lot of people that thought Jordan Love was going to be an MVP candidate. And they're back talking about that again this year. Now you got to wait and see. I don't want to say, will the real Jordan Love please stand up? But that's kind of what you're waiting for. It's what a lot of Packers fans are waiting for, Ryan of Manitowoc, Bill, has there ever been any other Packers season where there have been more questions than answers for the start of the season? I'm glad to see the fight. Show to me that they are ready for the season. Hope to see the energy against Detroit. Don't want to see Kyle Turley ripping off a helmet, but showing I'm going to bust your ass and plant you in the ground. That's great. Have a good weekend. By the way, I'm enjoying the Cowboys documentary series, but never have seen an owner kiss his own ass more than Jerry Jones does. It's his thing. Yes. I haven't seen the documentary yet. I'm going to start it next week. So that'll be my, hey, I'm going to get ready to go to bed and lay in bed for an hour or two and watch each episode of the documentary. So I'll see. As far as more questions, yeah, we've always had questions every year. It's who's going to make the roster, how many of the wide receivers they're going to carry, what's the depth on the offensive line. And when we say questions, I can't remember a time, though, we had so many guys with nagging injuries, back injuries, foot injuries, hamstring injuries. I can't remember a time we've seen so many guys with what I consider to be soft tissue injuries down, and they're not even in the regular season yet. I hope this is not some kind of telltale sign, some foreshadowing of something, to come. But man, it's been crazy. Stevie says, if Parsons really wanted to sign the deal this spring, wouldn't he fire his agent and get a new deal? Jerry Jones has lost it, and his ego is the size of Texas. Again, I don't know what Jerry said. If you haven't seen it already or heard it already, Jerry said that Micah approached him, called him. Micah said he got called in to Jerry's office for a, quote, leadership forum meeting for like leadership on the team. And then it turned into a discussion about his contract. Jerry says they had an agreement. Micah said, I never agreed to anything. I said, it'd be great. Let's go send everything over to my agent. Jerry says he don't even know who the agent is. The agent's like, no, he knows who we are because we've dealt with each other before. Somebody's lying about what's going on, but this thing has gotten personal. And the comments of Jerry Jones talking about, the little kid running to mommy and daddy and playing one against the other. And he said, I'm not standing for that S here. Sounds like he's basically calling Micah Parsons a child. And that a lot of players are not happy with Jerry Jones. And Jerry's basically saying, I don't care. I own you for 3 years if I want. Out of the 608, agree, Love has to play better, but receivers got to catch the ball. Cannot have as many drops as last year. Takes a team to play for championships like the Brew Crew this year, which I completely agree. And that has been a point of emphasis this season, this early season. So I agree with that. The drops got to be minimized. Stephen Minono, when does the Huddle debut come this season? I think, if I'm not mistaken, it is on September 3rd. Yeah, it's Wednesday, September 3rd, when the first one airs. That is our look into the season as we get ready for the first game. So we're less than 2 weeks away from that. Wednesday night, September 3rd. And then don't forget, we're going to be back at Berkel's for all the home games this year. The only home game we will not be at Berkel's for is on the 11th against the Commanders. We are going to be in Tomahawk, Wisconsin, up there for the fall ride, and we're going to be live at Castaways Bar and Grill in Tomahawk for the fall ride, and that's where the Green and Gold postgame show is going to emanate from. We're excited about that. Looking forward to it. Good friend of mine owns the bar up there, Trish and her husband. So we're excited about that. So we'll be in Tomahawk for the fall ride, but also kicking things off with the Huddle up there on Wednesday night. And I think that's an undisclosed location. And then on the 11th, the Green and Gold postgame show will come to you live from Castaways Bar and Grill up in Tomahawk, Wisconsin. So there you go. That's good stuff. When we come back, we got our buddy Steve Zautke. He is live out at the Milwaukee Mile where the Indy cars are starting to tune it up and get ready for the 250 coming up this weekend. So don't go anywhere. Going to talk a little racing. And then after that, don't forget, going to hear from Jordan Love coming up here in a little while, and Bill Huber in a little while. We got a lot more. We're not done by any stretch of the imagination. Want to remind you, don't forget, coming up, and I can't implore you enough, if you're a rider, and maybe you've already signed up, bring friends. Tell friends about it. Get friends signed up. The 18th annual Big Unit Poker Run, helping out Big Unit Foundation in support of Fisher House, Wisconsin. And for all the information, go to bigunitfoundation.com. That's bigunitfoundation.com. You can also find the Big Unit Poker Run over on Facebook, where we actually have the map, the directions that have been posted now. So those are all good, and you can start to follow them. Otherwise, just scan the QR code and you get registered right there. And somebody through pre-registration only will win that autographed Ibanez guitar that was autographed by the band Jackal, the band Count 77, Robert Patrick in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, the actor, and by the band Disturbed. Somebody is going to take that home on that Sunday, August 31st. So that's alone right there, right? Reasons to get pre-registered, because that thing is valued, when I went and looked at it online, valued between $3,000 and $5,000 to start. So that's another reason to do it. So anyway, check it out. Go to bigunitfoundation.com. That's bigunitfoundation.com.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The roll screen. the ability to roll a window screen up and down like a shade. Pella invested in this breakthrough when the business was born and has introduced the world to innovative, game-changing designs ever since. Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Our incredible craftsmen have always been driven by the principles of traditional American values and the desire to enrich the homes and lives of others. They've been at it for a century. When you want long-lasting comfort and reliability, we make it easy for you to trust Pella. Every piece is specifically constructed for you and your home. Pella always designs with innovation and rigorously tests each product for quality and performance. Our team takes pride in constructing quality windows and doors with meticulous attention to every detail. Investing in new Pella windows and doors creates long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years. And if you order by August 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. They are doing a little bit of racing this weekend down at the Milwaukee Mile in the Wisconsin State Fair Park. I can't drive 55, so Sammy Hagar. How apropos. How apropos. Steve Zautke, our guy on the ground, who's been with us all race season. Steve, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic in the drying Milwaukee Mile.
Yeah, I was going to say they had kind of put out the all clear after they had the flooding over there during the final day, really, the Wisconsin State Fair, when everything was underwater, and you kind of thought to yourself, oh, man, is it going to affect the infield, the toy haulers, the concrete, everything? But everything seems to be good to go, right?
Yeah, it's incredible. I came out here on Monday, did a short video for my Traction Reaction podcast, and things were drying out. The tunnel was completely dry. There's really hardly, you could barely tell that, looking back to the week prior, they had to cancel the last day of the fair because, water was everywhere. Greenfield Avenue is incredible, which runs, to the south of the grounds. We're talking, 5 feet deep waters and everything. And, the waters receded. And they're actually parking in the infield. Right now I'm kind of parked in the center of the paddock, watching the pit crew guys come in, and they're parking up on the grass, and everything is pretty much dried out. There's a couple maybe some soft spots, but other than that, it's completely dry. But people may forget that if you look at old photos of the Milwaukee Mile, the Honey Creek actually ran right, and still does in fact run right through the track, and up until the mid '60s, it had a limestone barrier, or along the side of it. They kind of limestoned it in, and then when they took out the quarter-mile dirt track, they did a lot of landscaping and whatnot and buried the creek. But the creek is still there to this day. So that's what caused all the flooding.
So here's my question in regards to the IndyCar series and the racing. Is it Alex Palou and everybody else? He has won 8 out of 15 races so far this season. And they have that Honda has been fantastic. Now, Will Power won the Grand Prix of Portland, which was the Chevrolet. But Alex Palou has just been, hands down, the best driver, the best car, the best team all season long.
It's a combination of the team, the driver gaining experience and really getting comfortable, and everything is gelling together for that team. It's happened before with Ganassi, but with especially with Honda and Firestone and everything, the package that they have. They've been Palou is at this point now where he's at that perfect, zenith, kind of like Aaron Rodgers in 2010, 2011, 2012. Everything is really coming together. He's at the top of his game. And, nothing can stop him at this point other than,
an accident or mechanical issues, but yeah, he has just been unbeatable. And this is something that happens occasionally in auto racing, whether it's Formula One, NASCAR, or IndyCar.
Well, first of all, let's talk about ticket sales and the excitement for this race. I mean, obviously they had a big weekend up at Road America, and racing in Wisconsin and the interest for racing in Wisconsin has grown by leaps and bounds. Even going back the last 5, 6, 7 years, you're seeing more and more ticket sales. So how are they doing at the Milwaukee Mile?
Yeah, it really has. And, tip of the hat to Sherry Black and her group here at the Milwaukee Mile in Stateford Park, who has kind of taken the bull by the horns. They've done a really nice job. I've been involved with promotional groups, in the past at the Milwaukee Mile, and the Stateford board was under a different, management at that time, and they always treated us like more of a tenant as opposed to a partner. And so this time around, State Fair has actually been doing that, working with Penske Entertainment, and we're working together with not only the marketing but logistics and operations, and they've done a really, really nice job. And one of the things they're doing for fans too is opening up the State Fair. The Grandstand Avenue is going to be all opened up. So it's not just, you walk in, go to the racetrack, sit up in your grandstand seat and leave. There's going to be a lot of activities going on along Grandstand Avenue.
Yeah, they've got music, they got Leadfoot's is open, and all those bars, the Miller High Life stage and all that stuff, and then a Blue Moon and everything all up and down is all open. They have the vendors underneath the grandstands as well. So it's kind of I don't want to say a mini festival, but it's got an atmosphere. It's got a buzz to it when you walk in the gate.
It certainly does, and they've kind of done everything that a lot of fans have been wanting. And like I said, with Sherry Black and her group, they've listened to the fans, and they're doing everything the fans kind of want. And I mean, the weather's going to be absolutely perfect this weekend. There's really no excuse not to come out.
So let me ask you about the surrounding area, because we know a lot of flooding happened in West Allis in all those different little neighborhoods and such, but you park in some of the lots that are provided, but you also park in the neighborhoods in the area. Is there anything in that area that you've looked at and said, okay, that's not an area that's going to be accessible to go park in?
Actually, I'm kind of glad you asked that, because I grew up in this neighborhood when I was a kid, and I was kind of curious myself how things are being cleaned up. And on last Monday, I only saw a couple of houses that still had debris in front of their house. Everything else had been picked up and cleaned up, and you could hardly tell they had any issues. Whereas on the north side of Milwaukee and the northwest side of Milwaukee, they're still having a lot of issues, and there's still a lot of debris, piled up in the front of houses, but not so in West Allis. West Allis looks all systems go at this point.
So real quick, Steve, before I let you go, obviously the drivers come into Wisconsin and they go to the road course, and everybody talks about Road America and it being one of their favorites, and it is, and I completely get it. What do they feel about the mile and coming back to the mile and making this part of that run?
Milwaukee's always been a popular stop, and it provides great racing. And it was a system of not to get too deep into this, but the way the promotional systems were set up, it worked through maybe the early 1990s and that. But it was a very hard system for promoters to really do anything in the 2000s, having a promotional rights, so to speak, and doing track rentals and whatnot. What did help, maybe it wasn't the best way of doing it at the time, and especially the promotional groups that were doing it, especially on the marketing time. But with State Fair being involved and having the groups that they have, these are people. They're not bureaucrats. These are people that actually know business. Sherry did a lot with the Waukesha County Fair and the people they brought in is really, really good people that's working here. So I think it's the future looks bright for the fair at this point. and we're kind of excited to see how many people show up this weekend.
Looking forward to it. Steve, great stuff as always. Glad the track is open. It's dry. It's accepting fans, and we will talk again real soon, okay?
All right. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it as always.
Thanks, bud. You can see Steve on the Traction Reaction podcast, where you get your favorite podcasts. You can check it out on YouTube as well, the Traction Reaction podcast. And he's right. I mean, it goes back a while. There's a lot of history to it, but for a while, the State Fair Park was saddled with money that they necessarily didn't approve. It came through higher up. And so for a promoter to come in and say, we got to cover $1 million before we even walk through the door, there was a lot of them that said, we're not going to do it. So the State Fair was responsible for paying off a lot of that debt and getting rid of that debt. And once they started to get rid of that debt, that's when promoters started to look back over the fence and said, okay, now it's more feasible monetarily for us to come in and work with the Wisconsin State Fair Park and say that we can actually afford to put on a race here. So anyway, long story short, it's good to see that there's some life, there's some heartbeat, there's a pulse back at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and the Milwaukee Mile. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll come back. We got a lot more to get to. Don't forget, coming up in the next hour, you're going to hear from Jordan Love as well. So don't go anywhere. This portion of the program brought to you by our friend at LD's Barbecue. They got a big bike night coming up on Tuesday night. But on Main Street in East Troy, if you're hankering for the award-winning barbecue that is slow smoked over 100% seasoned oak wood, that is LD's Barbecue on Main Street in East Troy. They've got their own sauces, their own rubs. They've got the pulled pork. They've got the chicken. They've got just the racks of ribs. It is just a fantastic place. And Leon is such a great guy to begin with. Fantastic place to go. And it's just a tremendous, tremendous story as how that's grown and turned into a terrific business and really, really well recognized as well. That's LD's, LDSBBQ.com, LD's Barbecue, LDSBBQ.com, Main Street in East Troy, Wisconsin.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket, this is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back in the Bill Michaels Show. Going into the final hour. Coming up next, Jordan Love. J-Lo. Going to hear from him. And we'll get into, we'll take a listen to what he has to say about not only the thumb, but about everything that took place yesterday and the scrum, if you want to call it that. You got the Brewers coming up tonight. Quintana goes to the Hill against Whisenhunt this evening. Whisenhunt 1-1 with a 5.02 ERA. Quintana 10-4 has had a resurgence in Green Bay. 10-4 on the season with a 3.32 ERA. By the way, Cincinnati's on the road taking on the Diamondbacks. They're fighting. I think they're a half game back right now behind New York for the other playoff spot in the wild card. Pirates are hosting the Rockies. Then you have also got the Cubs on the road. They're taking on the Angels out in L.A. So you've got the Cubs going on the road, and the same with the Cardinals. The Cardinals are on the road. They're down in Tampa Bay taking on the Rays. But the team that's in the rearview mirror a little bit is the Cubs, and Cincinnati is fighting for a playoff spot. So they're trying to get past the Mets to see if the Mets falter more down the stretch. So the Mets have not necessarily played great ball here as of late as well. So anyway, coming up here in the next hour to kick things off, we're going to hear from Jordan Love, and he's got a lot to say. So we're going to get into all of that. We'll get into some of the more emails and text messages also. And in addition to that, we've also got some from out of the Packers camp, we'll say. Zach Tom, we're going to hear from him. Also, Keyshawn Nixon. And if we get enough into it, we got Anthony Belton as well. And then we're going to hear from Bill Huber coming up at the bottom of the next hour. So we have got an action-packed, Packers-filled fourth hour of the program. Don't go anywhere. We got a whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers are back home after an 8-game road trip that saw them go 4-4. It left them as the first team to 80 wins this year and gave them a 7-game lead in the NL Central on the Cubs. The crew has gotten it done in different ways, but that's what makes the team what they are, according to outfielder Isaac Collins.
It's just what got us here. I said that scratch and claw mentality and just staying true to ourselves. I feel like sometimes when success comes your way, you kind of forget what got you there. So I think down the stretch here, it's going to be huge for us to just continue to take it one day at a time and just be the best version of ourselves every day.
Tonight, Brewers going to open up a series against the Giants at American Family Field. Jose Quintana will get the ball from Milwaukee. Comes in 10-4 with a 3.32 ERA, giving up a total of 2 earned runs over his last 2 starts. Giants will counter with Carson Whisenhunt. He's 1-1 with a 5.02 ERA. It'll be just the 4th start of the rookie's career. San Francisco has lost 10 of the last 12 games. First pitch is set for 7:10.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
All business owners want the same thing, to make their business succeed. At Rural Mutual, they help that happen. As the third largest writer of commercial business in Wisconsin, they take the time to learn your business so they can properly protect you. Call your local agent today or visit ruralmutual.com.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Well, it's an off day from practice for the Packers. They're getting ready to face the Seahawks in the final preseason game tomorrow. Kick is at 3 at Lambeau Field. Then the focus will shift to paring down the roster to get to that 53-man roster limit by Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Turning to the Badgers, they are less than a week out from the start of their season. They'll face Miami, Ohio next Thursday night at Camp Randall Stadium. Kick is at 8. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Welcome in, Joe Michaels Show. We're not done. We got a lot more to get to. I wanted to answer this real quick. Nancy wrote in and said, hey, we are signed up for the motorcycle ride. Is the first leg police governed, and where is it? And yes, it is. We have got great cooperation from our friends at the Milwaukee Police Department, the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department, and further out from there with its Brookfield, town of Brookfield, Waukesha and such. But the first stop is over there at our friends at Smoke in the Water in Okauchee. So we're really looking forward to that because it's a tremendous place, enough parking for everybody. It's huge. Joe and Ellen Hennis, they host rides, on and off throughout the season anyway, and they've got another big one coming up for their fall Colorama ride. But Smoke on the Water on Okauchee Lake, that's going to be our first stop. And yes, we do have the police, like Save Us in Your Mother's Arms, going to be escorting us for the first leg of the ride. So we can't wait. Great place and a lot of great people. Let's do this. Jordan Love spoke to the media after the melee and had a chance to kind of, field a few questions here and there along the way. Let's take a listen to what the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers had to say. Here's Jordan Love.
Jordan, I wanted to ask you something not related to practice, if that's okay. Doing a thing on your fadeaway throw. It's kind of like a sort of coming signature thing for you. It's pretty special. I just wonder kind of how that comes natural to you as a thrower.
Yeah, I think it's really just something that kind of just naturally happens on the field. It's not anything that you're thinking about doing. I think it's just something I've always done as a quarterback and throwing, and I don't know where it might have come from or originated from, but I don't know if it's from shooting jump shots or fading away. I don't know. So I think it's just something that happens naturally.
I read your piece that you wrote, and that you were almost named Michael Jordan. So it just seems kind of cool that there is a basketball element to your throwing game.
Shooting a jump shot out there, I guess. You know.
Where does the creativity come from? Do you work on adding creativity to your game? Like how does that work for you?
I mean, just throwing the ball. I think I've always had a pretty. That's kind of been one of my strengths is to be able to play off platform and different things like that. And then I think just my time here with Aaron, see the different throws he would make off platform, feet different ways. Just creativity to you get put in certain positions in the field in the pocket where it can't be a perfect look as just throwing routes on air every time. So you got to find ways to kind of control your body and find ways to make the throws no matter what the situation is. So I think a lot of that I saw from A-Rod, and you get in these situations now, and it's just how do I make this throw work? How do I find best to flip my feet or I can't flip my feet and just kind of flip the ball out there sometimes. So I think that's a trait a lot of quarterbacks got to have is be able to find ways to throw the ball off platform, different arm angles. I think it just helps you in certain situations.
What do you feel like you got out of what you could do in practice this week?
Yeah, I think, the most I could do was 7-on-7 and obviously not being in team and no contact type things. So, I think 7-on-7 has been great. Just be able to get myself back out there on the field and get back seeing reps and throwing the ball and obviously continuing to build the timing and precision with the receivers and tight ends and everybody, and obviously go out there and read the defense. So I'm still trying to get good reps in and good work in without, the team aspect.
Is there any pain or soreness on the form right now?
Nope, it feels good right now.
Theoretically, if this were a game week, would you play?
If this were a game week, yeah, I'd just play. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yesterday was 7-on-7. You were really sharp. Today, I think there's 3 or 4 completions and all those plays. What'd you make of it?
Yeah, no, I think there's some stuff that we'll watch it and definitely clean up. It's red zone, 7-on-7. Windows are a little bit tighter. Everything happens quicker down there. So, obviously a couple plays that we left out there that wish we could have got back, but it's good stuff to go back and look at. Obviously going against Seattle's defense a little bit different than what we've been going against. So, some good work, and we'll have some stuff that we'll look at, clean up.
Seemed to be a big day for the tight ends. Just what you see out of Musgrave and Kraft.
No, they make some big plays out there today. A lot of contested catches, and we're on the winning side of that. So definitely stuff you love to see. And I think both those guys have been doing a great job all the way through camp and been making plays. I think Luke's been doing a great job and really coming into his own, and just he's been a lot more consistent, I feel like, this camp. And now he's going and making those big time plays downfield, which you love to see. Yeah, it's joint practices. I feel like almost every joint practice, there's always some type of scuffle going on. So, it's one of those things you hate to see, because it just kind of stops practice and prolongs some of those drills. But we don't get as many reps in. But it's one of those things that happens. So
just right after practice, like that.
Yeah, just right after practice.
Because that was one of the bigger fights I've seen. 30
Yeah, that's one of the bigger ones. I think every time when you get both sidelines clear, it's tough. So try your best to break it up and things like that, but it's going to happen, man. I don't know. There's no answer for it.
You said you hate to see it. Would you like to see that fire from the guys?
Yeah, I mean, as a team, when things happen and you got guys throwing punches at another guy, that's the part of the team that you love to see. Guys got to have each other's back out there and go out there, and we're not going to let one of our guys just go out there and get beat up at all. So we're going to go out there and like you said, you hate to see it, but you love to see the team having each other's back, going out there fight for one another for sure.
To have a clean practice in Indy, what was the biggest difference of just there being more scrums? Is there one?
Well, no, I don't know. I think it's just all it takes is one little spark, and then tempers flare and things happen so quickly. So I don't think there's a rhyme or reason for why it happens. It's just it takes one little play, one little scuffle to turn to a big fight.
I'm sorry if you already answered this, but I guess how often has it been for you trying to go to practice, drills, workouts, with baseball?
Yes, it's a little bit different, but it's not, anything that's too crazy. It's a left hand, so it's definitely it's having something on the hand and right now, not having contact on the ball with my thumb, things like that. But it's nothing that is, I think, going to stand in the way of anything.
Jordan, when you're away from here, do you have it wrapped, or are you
Yep.
wrapped the whole time? Right?
Yep.
From the QB's perspective, what is the most important skill, or what makes a great wide receiver? Is it things like speed, good route running, or good hands? What stands out to you? What makes you a great wide receiver?
That's a good question. I think there's a little bit of everything. I think at the end of the day, as a receiver, just having great hands, being able to go catch the ball and make those contested catches and just come down with the ball is always a great trait to have. But there's a lot more that goes into it in terms of just knowing where to be, knowing the timing of the offense, where you need to be, how to run routes versus different looks and when is a very key component of that. Because you can, there's fast guys that, might not win on routes, and there's slow guys that just got great fundamentals, great technique, and can win. So I think going out there and winning versus whoever's out there at DB, whatever look you're getting, and just consistency to be able to come down with the ball.
Is there a timetable for your thumb, or is that something we could see for the foreseeable future, even possibly week 1?
Yeah, it's one of those things we're going to be taking week by week and day by day with it. So there's no real timetable.
Jordan, what kind of camp do you think Taylor's put together for you guys, and especially with him making that transition to the American game, just being able to kind of tackle that the way he has this summer?
I think Taylor's done a great job. I think Taylor's a really smart guy. He's picked up the offense very well, and he's done some good things on the field. And I think, like you said, the transition from Canada ball to American ball is, it's definitely not easy. So I think he's done a great job at it. I think he's been getting better with every rep he's getting and just learning and growing. So I think he's done a good job.
How much has Matthew Golden impressed you over the past month?
Yeah, he's done some really, really good things. I think he's came in, he's made a name for himself, and he's making some good plays every day. So it's one of those things we just got to keep building the consistency. And obviously, it's going to be a long season. So just got to have that mindset to be able to keep getting better every day, keep dominating. But he's done some great things.
Jordan, this is what your sixth camp of your third as a starter. Would you stand here today as the starter if you had to play right away, or what do you think that would be like?
I don't know. Who knows? I'd say yeah, but who knows?
Jordan, with 3 pivotal receivers out for an extended time this camp, what gives you confidence that this team and offense can click right away if they're back on the field? One.
Say that again, sorry.
Yeah, you have 3 receivers who's missing pretty significant time here in camp. What gives you confidence that this offense can click week 1 if they're all back out there?
Yeah, that's one of those things you hate to see. Injuries and guys missing time. It's part of it. It sucks, but it is part of it. So I think those guys have been doing a great job staying locked in on the side, and obviously they're missing a lot of reps, which isn't great. But I think once they get back out there, we'll be able to hit the ground running. I think they have they've got a lot of playing time under their belt, so not like it's their first camp or things like that. So I think they'll be in a great position when they get back. It does suck missing time, for anybody, no matter what position you're at. So it's one of those things that I think when they get back, we'll be able to hit the ground running, and they got the right mindset about it to be able to handle things. And like I said, they have experience and reps, and they're staying locked in right now, which is great.
Jordan, I'm sorry, I heard you talking a little bit about the fight. I was not preparing in me, but I think you were a little closer to that than maybe I would want you to be if I was Matt. What's the fine line between supporting your guys as a quarterback with a bad thumb and making sure you're clear of all that?
Oh, no, I'm making sure I stay clear for sure. Like you said, I'm kind of just roaming around, making sure everybody's straight and just seeing kind of what's going on. But, definitely, especially right now with the injury, I'm not going to be getting any scuffles right now. So I'm going to stay away.
Jordan, I know that you were asked about the tight ends earlier, but I asked Mike McDonald after practice just the kind of problems that an offense present to the defense when you have multiple tight ends that are playmakers like that. When you watch that, you start salivating over the possibilities of having Luke and talking about
Definitely. I think that's something that since they both got here and we've been able to see what they can do on the field, I think that's one thing that, Matt and the guys, drawing the plays have been kind of hunting for, is to be able to get them both on the field and do some pretty cool things in the pass game with them. And then obviously marry it all up with the run game. But, the possibilities are endless for sure. And I think, like I said before, those guys have been doing a great job and building and continuing to stack days. And, Tuck has done some great things on the field. And I think Luke's having a great camp as well. So, like you said, to be able to have both those guys out there, present some problems for defenses and, depending on what they want to do, if they want to play base and, keep more linebackers on the field and less DBs, we'll be able to get some good matchups, because those guys can both run really well and can catch the ball really well. So I think it'll be tough on defenses to see how they want to adjust and what kind of coverages and things they want to do to play us when we have both those guys out there. But, we'll see when we get into the season how we can kind of keep dialing things up with them.
Tucker, 2 more for Jordan. Tucker's done what he's done. What has he shown you?
I think he stepped up big. I think this is his best camp so far. I think just the consistency is there for him right now. I think he's putting it all together, understanding the offense, the routes he's running, where he needs to be, the timing, and now he's just going out there playing fast and making plays. So I definitely think this is his best camp, and it's one of those things we just got to keep building, keep stacking the days, and obviously go make it happen on Sundays.
All fighting aside, what did you make of the intensity level out there from the guys today?
That was great. I think that was one thing that last week in Indy, we kind of made a note on to kind of pick that intensity up a little bit, bring some more juice out there to practice day, and I think we did a great job of that, and I think everybody brought some juice. We're flying around, and I think we're making some big time plays out there. So I think it always starts with that. You got to make big time plays to kind of get guys going, bring some of that juice, but I think the way we started was great.
There you go. That's the quarterback himself, Jordan Love. Talking about guys in camp, some guys are playing well. The other guys, you want them to step up. You want them to kind of, beat a man. But and he said, look, if they were to play tomorrow, the thumb would be wrapped up. He'd be ready to go. So at least that gives you a little bit of confidence too for him coming, into the regular season, that it's not going to be problematic. Let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to hear some Tucker Kraft. No, we're going to hear Zach Tom. Is it Zach Tom? Is am I missing? Is Zach Tom? Zach, we're going to hear from Zach Tom when we come back. Also from Keyshawn Nixon, not Tucker Kraft, but from Keyshawn Nixon, Zach Tom and Keyshawn Nixon. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. Bottom of the hour, Bill Huber coming up from Sports Illustrated. We're not done yet. Stay tuned.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network. Step right up and gaze into my crystal ball. I see flashing lights, spinning reels, and a big win. This August, you have a ticket to a cash carnival at Potawatomi. Play with your rewards card and earn entries to win your share of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Prize drawings every Thursday through August 28th. Your fortune awaits only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Truck drivers, have you been searching for a more reliable driving job? Get the paychecks and predictability you need as a Schneider driver. Schneider's large selection of driving jobs means you can get the home time that suits your schedule. Choose from daily, weekly, monthly, or sometime in between. Plus, Schneider drivers have access to great benefits with a 401k match and a 24/7 support team. Get the keys to a better driving job. Search openings near you and apply now at schneiderjobs.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Good stuff. A lot of Packer-centric stuff here in the last hour of the program. This portion of the program brought to you by Pella Winners and Doors of Wisconsin. Go to PellaWI.com. That is PellaWI.com. And whether it's for home beautification or the economical factor, the value added to your home, curb appeal, or just laying your head safely on your pillow at night, you're good to go. That's our friends at Pella. Pella Custom Installers. They come out. You can even get a free in-home consultation. So if you don't even think you need all the windows replaced, but maybe a couple, they can come out and tell you what you do and you don't need. And they're pretty good about it too. I mean, whether it's the vinyl or the Impervia or all the way up to the custom wood windows, whatever it happens to be, they got something for everybody and all the different innovations that go along with it. That is PellaWI.com. PellaWI.com. Take advantage of that free in-home consultation and have them come out and take a look around. It's worth it. 855 Pella WI. Call them direct. That's 855 Pella WI. Again, 855 Pella WI. There you go. So we heard from Jordan Love, and obviously yesterday was a big day when it came to the scrum, and one of the guys who was directly involved was Zach Tom, the big offensive lineman for the Green Bay Packers, the right tackle. And he ended up with a little bit of a smile on his face when, as Mike Clemens described a little earlier, he came out of the shower. He was getting dressed. He turns around, and there's a whole scrum of media behind him waiting, and he kind of smiles and said, I guess you guys want to talk to me, because he was the guy that was throwing down hands. This is Zach Tom talking to the media.
So what, you look really fast. What triggered you?
I mean, they were in our huddle, and I saw somebody to my left got hit, so I just reacted. So it's really nothing more than that.
And you're in the huddle.
We were in our huddle, and they were in our huddle.
Before the play.
Yeah.
So I didn't see that part.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And so somebody pushed one of your guys? Or?
Yeah. I'm not sure who he pushed, but I saw him jump over the top of somebody and hit one of our guys. So I just reacted after that. Not sure who it was.
Undercut you or something.
No. It wasn't anything about the play before. I just ended up on the ground on that play, but it was just something that happened after the play. I'm not sure what led up to it, but yeah, I just saw what I saw and reacted.
So I was on the other side of the field, so I was watching the defense. So did the floor say something to you afterward to end your day, or what happened afterward?
I mean, yeah, I got kicked out of practice, so yeah. Yeah.
Are you okay with that? Feeling like you did what you needed to do, or is that something you can't do? Or
I mean, I feel like I could have better control. I mean, not throwing punches, but I don't know. It's just it is what it is. You know, I can only control what I can control.
Zach, our interactions with you are obviously different than they would be on the field, but you're such a calm, even-keeled guy. Does it take a lot to get you really pissed, would you say?
Yeah, I would say that. Like I said, we were in the huddle, and somebody in our huddle, like, it's already kind of disrespectful that they're in our huddle, and then somebody gets hit while we're in the huddle. You know, got to have some pride, you know.
I understand that Matt doesn't want it, but is there something to be said for having each other's back? And I'm not saying that you want to get into fights to bring guys together, but is there a value in that, do you think?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I saw the video. I saw Tucker, you know, he got in there, and Messiah got in there. So, I mean, pretty much the whole offense got in there. So, I mean, it's cool to know that, you know, everybody got each other back. But yeah, obviously, maybe it would be better if we found that out in a different way. But but it is what it is.
Have you ever been in a football fight before?
Not really. No, that's probably the worst one I've ever been involved in. Yeah.
Good thing or a bad thing for the team and unity and camaraderie?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's nice to know that we have each other's back. Obviously, that's going to make us closer as a team. But like I said, it'd be better if we, you know, found it out in a different way. So, yeah, I mean, but I mean, like I said, the silver lining is, I know that the whole offense got my back, and I got everybody else's back. So yeah.
From a football perspective, now Banks is not practiced Tuesday or today, so now Jordan's over there. What's the process for you guys to get to an in-sync 5 when there's been so much of this from the very start?
I mean, it's no different than any other year. I mean, it always seems like there's one or two guys, at least since I've been here, that might not be practicing, and you just gotta, next man up. So it's no different this year. Obviously, I think back to my rookie year when I was playing a different position pretty much every day. So, you're still expected to go out there and perform at a high level. So, I would say it's no different than any other year, really.
And you felt like last year when you would miss that time, you guys were all able to, you guys kind of connected with you right away. It wasn't that hard to get everybody up to speed when you came.
No, I mean, I had a good ramp up period, and I was pretty much, I was in pretty good shape when I came back. And so, I mean, no, I wouldn't say that there was too much of an adjustment period. It's just football. So, it's not, obviously it's nice to, get the communication down and all that, but, it might take a couple days for that. But, I have a lot of chemistry with pretty much every guard they put next to me. So I'm pretty good with that.
He said as far as the depth of the line, it's not there just yet. With all these guys being out and, you guys have rotated.
Who said that?
Lucas.
Oh.
I'm talking about just like the.
Yeah.
You guys are something different.
Yeah, I didn't know what you said.
But with you've been rotating different guys in and out. Do you feel like that has kind of helped building some depth a little bit, getting guys more reps and exposure?
Yeah, for sure. Anytime the more reps you can get, the better. So it hates to sound cliche, but you gotta play football to get better at football. So anybody they put in there, J-Mo, Dono, all of them. It's valuable reps that they're getting, and it's only gonna make us better.
Personally, very memorable 6 weeks or so here. Now your preseason training camp already done. Where are you with the season ahead? Where's your mind? What are you thinking as the season gets ready to start for you?
I'm just ready to go. I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that question. It's obviously been a long training camp, pretty obviously started out pretty well, but it's nice to get back to real football, and in a couple of weeks we're gonna be playing Detroit, and they got us a couple times last year, and now it's time for us to show who we are.
There you go. That is Zach Tom, the guard for the tackle for the Green Bay Packers, the right tackle. And like he said, there's better ways to build camaraderie, but it wasn't terrible. And for the scrum that went on yesterday, and it didn't really have anything to do with the play. It was about the disrespect of a guy coming into your huddle and then shoving you around. It's like you just don't see that. When you'll get a guy that'll joke with you every now and then, but you don't see the disrespect where he comes in, not only gets into your huddle, but then shoves you. So that's when everything kind of went down from there. From a different perspective, from the defensive perspective as to how things are, let's take a couple of minutes, listen to Keyshawn Nixon of the Packers as well, talk about camp and what went on.
When you're in full-fledged trash-talking mode, do you know everything that you're saying?
No, it's like blackout.
Yeah.
How would you characterize how you guys did today? We competed very well. It was chippy, but that's what comes with joint practice. It's always be like that. It was kind of weird for me last week because it wasn't like none of that in Indy, so it was kind of conservative for it, but it was just cover the territory. Alphas going against alphas. That's in a practice setting, so no reps for real. Like the reps don't really matter. You can't really get fined and stuff like that. So you get a little chippy. That's just how it goes.
I know you probably wouldn't want to see fights break out, but but as a competitor, a defensive guy, do you like that there kind of is an edge right there with the team?
Yeah, I mean, the coaches are like it, but it just comes with the territory for real. That's just how I go. There's too many alphas on the field. Practice setting, just how I go.
There's something to be said about, other guys backing each other up. Like, you guys are teammates out here and you want to have each other's backs.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody messes your brother, you're going to stand for him. That's just how it goes. Football, in life, your own kids, your own brother, that's just what it comes down to for real.
Keep the fighting stuff aside, like, are these really becoming much more productive for you guys as players than preseason games that you only play a series or two or sometimes?
I think gym practice has always been productive because like you're still getting good work. I mean, the fights is like it just is what it is, but you still working, you're still going against other competition in like a physical setting that you're not going to usually get versus, your own teammates, especially during the season. You rarely practice for a full go like that. So it was good to get our last little go hoorah before we see anybody during the season, really.
Donald was talking for a while about your defense and saying that the most challenging thing you guys do is all the disguise stuff and moving the safeties around. Do you think that one of your biggest strengths defensively is the team don't know what's coming?
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened when we got here. I think we disguised better or more than anybody in the league last year, and it works. So now we just homing on, just capitalizing on all our takeaways and all our ops. Being year two in the defense, it makes a big difference. You see, we picked Darnold off the end 2 minutes, so that just really come down to making plays.
How was it going against the Seahawks ones today?
It was good work. Cooper Cup and 11 didn't do one-on-one, so that kind of irritated me. But other than that, it was good work. 11, hell of a player. Cooper Cup is who he is, and then everybody else, it is what it is.
Good to see 29 back in the helmet out there, at least for Indy.
Talking about Avis? No? Oh, X, yeah.
Avis, like
cool. That's his middle name.
Yeah. I thought you meant like the car rental. I thought you meant the car rental.
Nah, I call him by his middle name.
Okay.
He called me by mine, so it's just a little thing we do.
Wait, now I got to look up your middle name.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Dee, what did you think about Evans' interception?
I thought it was mine, so I'm kind of mad about it, but Evans is a hell of a player. He's been playing really good, Take a big jump from year 1 to year 2, so close it out. That's what we're supposed to do.
So there you go. That is Keyshawn Nixon, the Green Bay Packers. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We're going to come back. Bill Huber, you're going to hear from Sports Illustrated. That conversation is upcoming. Nothing yet. I saw a couple people asking about Joey Ortiz. And I don't know if you've seen anything, but as far as I know, the MRI, I have not seen a result on that yet. And because of the hamstring issue, but we'll have to wait and see. And I'm sure we'll find out something before the game. But that could bring up like a guy like Cooper Pratt. You're probably going to see Terang and Durbin maybe move around, or Cooper Pratt get his opportunity, but you hope that it's nothing serious when it comes to the shortstop of the Brewers. But yeah, it's kind of a hamstring issue. So I have not seen any of the results of the MRI as to what is actually going on. So at least not that I've seen. So I don't think I'm missing anything, but you never know. So let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. Bill Huber, you're going to hear his conversation with us upcoming. Don't go anywhere. Hey, life doesn't slow down. God knows I have been on the road a lot this year. And as a matter of fact, I was home only about 4 to 6 days in June, I think 8 days in July, and only 4 days so far, 5 days in August that I've been home. And it's just been busy. And whether you grab an iced coffee or a bakery treat or just a meal on the fly, Quick Trip, that's where I love to go. That's where I stop. It's got the free ATMs. I go in there because of that as well. But they got everything over there, whether it's you're just gassing up or you got to go in and, fill your own tank, so to speak, and use your rewards card. If you're not a rewards member, you're missing out because you can sign up today and start earning discounts on fuel, future purchases. Like I've always said, those cheeseburgers taste so good when they are free. And the Quick Trip, they've got sweepstakes you can enter and so much more. Just stop into your local Quick Trip because they're always just a great, it's almost like an oasis. When you're out there driving and you see KT out there somewhere, always great to stop into a Quick Trip and check them out for yourself because you know what kind of a gem they are right here in our own backyard in the state of Wisconsin. That's our good friends over there at Quick Trip. More of the Bill Michaels Show. Bill Huber from Sports Illustrated is next.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The roll screen, the ability to roll a window screen up and down like a shade. Pella invested in this breakthrough when the business was born and has introduced the world to innovative, game-changing designs ever since. Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Our incredible craftsmen have always been driven by the principles of traditional American values and the desire to enrich the homes and lives of others. They've been at it for a century. When you want long-lasting comfort and reliability, we make it easy for you to trust Pella. Every piece is specifically constructed for you and your home. Pella always designs with innovation and rigorously tests each product for quality and performance. Our team takes pride in constructing quality windows and doors with meticulous attention to every detail. Investing in new Pella windows and doors creates long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years. And if you order by August 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Phil Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Phil Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome in. Bill Michaels Show. Welcome. Great place to sit down, watch a game, whatever it happens to be. Watch the Brewers, Bucks, Packers, Badgers. You can keep going. DJ's Goalpost, Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls. Also want to remind you, they have a huge memorabilia collection there. They over there at DJ's. Don has put together an amazing, amazing collection. It's like just watching sports in a Hall of Fame museum of memorabilia. It's extremely cool. So check out DJ's Goalpost, Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls. Joining us now on the hotline, Bill Huber, our guy, Sports Illustrated, the man that asks the questions that are always lurking in my mind, standing by and getting ready for what we would call a Donnybrook of a boxing match with maybe the possibility of a Packers practice behind it. Bill, how you doing, pal?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. So I'm told by numerous people that say, you know what, fights aren't always a bad thing in camp. Yes, coaches want to get the work done, but that's something that can be team bonding. So after yesterday's Donnybrook, how was it in the locker room?
Yeah, typical locker room. Zach Tom. It was funny. Zach Tom was getting dressed at his locker with his back turned to us, and he turns around, and we're all standing there, and he just kind of laughs. You guys waiting for me, he says. So, I mean, I think everybody understands it's kind of the way it is for joint practices. And as Keyshawn Nixon said, you know, the refs are there, but they're not really there. They can't do anything about it. So
right.
It's an excuse to be ultra competitive, blow off some steam, by no harm, no foul. Zach Tom adamantly told me and Pete Doherty that it was an open hand and not a fist to protect his hands. So it was kind of, everybody seemed entertained by it, I guess I would say.
Which is great. I mean, when people have your back, and I saw Belton was, throwing down. I saw that Tucker Kraft was getting agitated. it was great to see guys backing up other guys, headbutts after the fact. And even though coaches are yelling at you to kind of keep your composure, it was great. It was great to see. And for a team that, as we did the other day about what would you describe the Green Bay Packers as, what is their identity? And the majority of the people that kind of emailed us or came on the program said it was soft. And now you've got a team that's showing some fight and some grit. And so we'll see. But overall, give me your
I
Go
would
ahead.
say that soft thing is nonsense.
Okay.
It's just not true.
I don't know what specifically soft means. You know what I mean?
Well, they ran the ball more than 50% of the time last year. That's not soft. Josh Jacobs is not a soft running back. And the run defense has been bad for years. Last year, I think it was fifth or sixth in yards allowed per carry. That's not soft. They got beat by the Eagles. The Eagles will make a lot of people look bad. I would say the Packers are not soft. Maybe years past, but not this group. That's crap.
Yeah, you and I agree, because I said, well, what is soft? But there's a perception out there, and I don't know if it comes from the head coach. I don't know if it comes from games where they just didn't shut them down because they don't have that tenacious edge rusher or what. I have no idea, but that was the perception. So my argument to that is, well, you got to go out and win ball games. You got to go out and beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. And maybe you look at a guy like Dan Campbell, who's Mr. Machismo, versus Matt LaFleur, and you go, well, our team is soft and their team isn't. I mean, that can be the comparison as well. But give me the helicopter view of what you have right now, what your thoughts are right now of camp and the totality of this team as we effort towards this last preseason game.
Yeah, I have as many questions now as I did 6 weeks ago. The offenses have been injured all year. I mean, look, the team is going to go as far as Jordan Love can take them. I have no idea what Jordan Love is right now. I shouldn't say that. I have no idea what the passing game is. Is Jordan Love in that passing game going to be good enough to win potential shootouts against the Joe Burrows of the world, to win playoff games. I have no idea because I haven't seen them. And defensively, the defense has looked good all training camp, but I was against a beat up Packers offense. So what the hell do you make out of that? And then I thought Green Bay's defense got worked yesterday. I thought Seattle outplayed them, but it's one day. I mean, Green Bay destroyed the Ravens in the joint practice last year. What does that mean? Nothing. So
right.
I just have no idea whatsoever. Coming off the field yesterday, I thought the defense is going to have a long season against really good quarterbacks, but that's 1-2 hour glimpse into things, and I don't want to get too carried away by it. But I don't feel any different than I did on July 22nd, honestly.
I look at preseason like a pitcher trying to get ready for the regular season in spring training. Is all you're trying to do is hit your marks. You're not trying to really outthink a batter. You're not trying to set a guy out with a breaking ball to get him along a low and away fastball that's got move. Yeah. All you're trying to do is hit your spots, hit the top edges, hit the round corners, that type of thing, and just get your work in. So when people put all this emphasis into wins and losses and who's performing, and this is great, and I don't necessarily go that deep into it because I really look for the one-on-one battles. I look for, are you kicking a guy's ass across from you, and are you physically better than that guy that is across from you? That's what I look for. That's it. What do you look for?
I want to see guys. I guess I would agree that I want to see guys win one-on-ones. I want to see, and like yesterday, I wanted to see Keyshawn Nixon and Valentine and those guys. I wanted to see how they're going to match up against Cooper Kupp and Smith and Jigba. That's the $1 million question, right? Is how is Green Bay's defense going to beat Jared Goff in week 1 and Jamie Daniels in week 2? And everybody knows the list. I want to see how those guys are going to fare against the cream of the crop kind of players. Again, I thought Darnold picked him apart yesterday. But again, what do you make out of 1-2 hour segment in the grand scheme of things? Like I said, I don't know. It's going to be a challenging season. I just don't feel like this team is like great. Maybe Jordan Love is going to light the world on fire, and we just haven't seen it because he's been hurt. But it's going to be a challenge, I think, this year, just because the division is so good and the schedule is so good and the quarterbacks are so good along the way.
Do you feel this offense has the potential to be great?
Sure, we've seen Jordan Love be great. I mean, the second half of 2023 was Rodgers-esque. Like, it wasn't quite run the table, Rodgers, but that stretch was about as good a quarterbacking as you can find. So we know that Jordan Love can do it. And obviously, all those guys who caught those passes are all around. Jaden Reed's a better player now than he was then, and Tucker Kraft's a better player now than he was then. So, there's no reason why they can't. And the O-line, as long as the O-line can stay healthy, the offensive line's going to be really good. Josh Jacobs is really good. So, they certainly could be great for sure, 100%.
That was going to be my next question, because they wanted to get more physical and beefier up front offensively, and they did that. And I wanted to know your insight on the gelling of the offensive line, looking at these guys. And obviously, Jordan Morgan and Rasheed Walker, they've got the battle over at the left tackle position. You're trying to get your first-round draft choice to ascend, obviously. But the offensive line, how much better do you think it can be than what it was?
That's a great question, Bill. And again, I don't know. Literally, they've taken I'm sure they've taken some reps. I'll exaggerate. I mean, they haven't taken any reps though. I mean, it was Aaron Banks is out to start training camp, and then Walker was out, and Banks is out again, and Jenkins is out at start of camp too. I mean, they just haven't gotten out there. I think Aaron Banks. I think the jury's out on that signing. The Packers are paying Aaron Banks great player money to a guy who's never been great. And we haven't seen him really out there enough to get much of a feel for it. Zach Tom kind of downplayed it yesterday, the lack of chemistry. Because, right now, who's starting at left tackle? And if it's Rasheed Walker, does Jordan Morgan start at right guard to get him on the field? I mean, there's a lot up in the air at this point. And again, Zach Tom kind of downplayed the chemistry part of it and said they've taken enough reps together along the way. But yeah, they'll be as good as that group can take them. And I just haven't seen him out there. I just haven't seen it. Aaron Banks go play live competition. So yeah, it's going to be a lot on those guys for sure. They could be better, but you think on paper, that Elton Jenkins is better than Myers, and Banks will be at least as good as Jenkins or on par with Jenkins at left guard. So they should be better, but we'll see.
4 days away from cutdown day. And, we always get a surprise. There's always somebody who gets cut that you're thinking, whoa, I didn't really see that coming, or I thought it might happen, but it kind of surprises me. Is Romeo Dobbs that guy?
No, I don't.
I don't think so either.
That's like content farming right there.
Right.
Why would you get rid of? Look, Wicks is injured. Reed's injured.
Yep.
Fabian Williams can't get in the field. Why the hell would you get rid of Romeo Dobbs? Who's had a really good training camp.
I agree.
Preposterous. I mean, if everybody was healthy and humming, you could say, well, yeah, I can see that, but they're not healthy. And at this point, Malik Heath is taking 1,000 reps because they've got nobody else. So
yeah,
no, I just think that's just clown show writing by whoever put that out there.
It keeps coming up, and they're saying, well, people are saying it. There you go. That's Bill Huber, and from a little bit earlier today. Great stuff. I mean, the bottom line is this. When you think about Bill Huber and some of the comments he made regarding where this team is at, and he's right. There's just still a lot of question marks there. And we talked about that, a little bit earlier today, obviously. But there's question marks on this team. And it's because we haven't seen the full complement. And I know that I've seen all day today that people in the thread have said, wow, I feel really bad about this team. I got a couple of emails that said, man, I feel really bad about it. Don't feel bad about them. We're not saying they're bad or there's problems. You just don't know because you haven't seen enough. They've seen it behind closed doors. They know what they're dealing with, but we just haven't seen enough to say that, yeah, there's definitely really good here. Because I think that's what Packers fans are looking for, is to have over the top going, oh my God, this is fantastic. This is unbelievable. What's going on right now? Look at the optimism for the regular season. You don't have that because you haven't seen enough of it. So that's why we keep saying, you're going to see a little bit more tomorrow night. You're going to get cut down day. Then they're going to get into their regular practices. The media is going to be allowed in. Mike Clemens is going to get a good look at it. Bill's going to get a good look at it. And then we'll see what the proof is in the pudding when it comes time for the Detroit Lions to come to Lambeau Field. Stay tuned. We wrap up a fun week coming up next, right after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The roll screen. The ability to roll a window screen up and down like a shade. Pella invested in this breakthrough when the business was born and has introduced the world to innovative, game-changing designs ever since. Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Our incredible craftsmen have always been driven by the principles of traditional American values and the desire to enrich the homes and lives of others. They've been at it for a century. When you want long-lasting comfort and reliability, we make it easy for you to trust Pella. Every piece is specifically constructed for you and your home. Pella always designs with innovation and rigorously tests each product for quality and performance. Our team takes pride in constructing quality windows and doors with meticulous attention to every detail. Investing in new Pella windows and doors creates long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years. And if you order by August 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
One of the best riffs of all time. One of the best riffs of all time. Now, they do say a few things in this song that now
the edited version.
Yeah, they get edited out.
Edited.
Yeah. They edit it out, so times have changed. Yeah, no doubt.
Just gonna do this actually. There you go.
Yeah.
Because I actually did not have the edited version. That was the unedited.
Okay. Yeah, that's the they I mean, you know, it's like it offends people, but
not me.
Not, you know, I just
not me.
Play it the way it is. It is what it is.
Yep.
Times were different. But yeah, that was dire straits, man. I remember that. And everybody wore those. Everybody was into the Miami Vice thing and wearing the pastel jackets and all that stuff and sleeves rolled up. Yeah, I remember that.
Rock on.
Yep. So we got Brewers baseball tonight, Packers football tomorrow. You've got high school football getting underway. Don't forget, you got the Euchre celebration for the Brewers coming up on Sunday. And they want you to get in there by noon. So if you're going to be going to the game, get in there by noon on Sunday.
I think they're airing it too at noon. I believe.
Yeah, they're going to air that, and it should be a pretty powerful day if you're going to be watching all of that. So hopefully the Brewers come away with a few wins over the weekend, get back to winning some series. Evo, let me know if Jen,
I'll let you know tomorrow, Bill.
Jen decides to say, hey, let's hit Calderon Club and not tell me to F off and all that kind of good stuff. And
I think she will say yes to Calderon and won't tell you to F off.
Okay.
I think we could be good. Because I said
do that.
Calderon Club, she went, ooh.
Okay. We can do that. We can do that.
We'll see.
All right, man. Until we talk again on Monday, Packers game tomorrow. We got all kinds of